Hello, everybody, and welcome back. We are just getting ready to start with the Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise Randomizer done by Boardface. I am Natara, one of your three commentators for today. The other two, want to introduce yourselves?
Well, I suppose we could. I am Trenton. I've been around here for a little bit. You all have seen me in a couple other things, and very excited to see this race. Great randomizer that's come a long way, and excited to see these runners show what it can do.
And I'm Nitsky1. People might know me from being really bad in the Final Fantasy IV community, and I'm trying to get better at this game, and you're going to see four of the best go at it here, so it's very exciting.
Yeah, all of these racers are really good at not just Final Fantasy IV, but at this specific randomizer as well. So I do believe that they are all ready to go. So we will just get things started, and then we'll start talking about what is going on.
Well, first thing we can already see is that Kain is going to be our starting character.
Yes, all of the runners are going to get right from the get-go is they're going to get two characters. One of them, the Cecil equivalent, is going to be Kain, and they will get another randomized character, and they will also get one key item and immediate access to the airship. And using these, they are going to start hunting around, looking for items, characters, and you need two key items in order to progress, specifically the crystal in order to change Zeromus into a fightable form, and a way to the moon, whether it be a pass or dark crystal. So it looks like they have the tower key.
And we're looking very vanilla here with Dark Knight Cecil and Kain. So not quite sure what happened there, but they are going to be off momentarily.
Yeah, and we did also...
Hey, not random enough.
Yeah, for sure. We also saw a quick peek of Baigen is going to be actually Valvalis. So if they end up fighting the Baigen fight, you will watch them fight Valvalis instead. Now, all of the bosses are also randomized, and you are going to see them, all the bosses' stats scale depending on where they are. You see some of the runners here are performing an item duplication glitch in order to replicate the shield. It looks like most of them are doing. They will get 65,000 shields, which they can sell for lots of dollars, which will really help them get items they need to progress.
Under this flag set, they're not going to see a lot of very good equipment available, so it'll be more finding things from trapped chests than you will see in the stores. So that money is going to go all the way throughout the game for them.
For sure. A slight misstep by Penguinator. I think he had forgotten that that area that he was in definitely is not good for encounters when you first start the game. So he's back on track, though, but he's just a little bit behind.
Yeah, and depending on where they choose to go and what key items they end up having, it can really absolutely change the pathing of where they go. And again, there are 17 key items, and they only need 2 of them in order to progress. So, plus they need the levels in order to survive the boss fight, because Zeromus is not scaled, as he is in the same spot he is always.
And to that end, once you get 10 key items, you'll get an experience bonus. So they will be trying to pick up key items along the way.
Yeah, and you're
as
seeing
they search for the crystal, especially.
Yeah, a lot of them are going around just finding invisible items, free chests, things like that, in order to get as many items as they can. I do believe, correct me if I'm wrong, that the no free lunch flag is on this particular seed, which means there will be no just free characters and free items hanging around. If they want any more characters or any more key items, they're going to have to fight bosses and use key items to get them.
That is
You're
correct.
No
free lunch. Also, the character challenge flags are enabled here, so that means Edge and Vasoya, who can be very powerful early game, they'll be a little bit harder to get to, generally speaking. Also, the Vasoya challenge flag is on, so he will not get his full spell list until after you've completed Mount Ordeal.
I see still needs a little more randomization. The dancing daggers are in the mist weapon shop, so that's always good to know.
Yeah, one thing to notice about these flags is the shops and the chests are going to be fairly balanced. You're not going to find anything truly ridiculous or very often to be very ridiculous in the stores. You're also going to see them all going to the item shops in each place because that is where the pass, which can be used to warp directly to Zeromus, can be found. So Lives are also going to be very useful as we see Nirm picking them up. Not only are they a good curative item to make sure your party stays alive, but there is a glitch where if you use a life potion on an enemy just before they die, then the character who you queued that life up with, providing that enemy dies before their turn, you use the life on that empty spot, the monster or the enemy comes back but with 0 vitality, and so ends up just dying immediately again. So it's a free experience. So definitely a good strategy for grinding and getting our characters up to level.
Urim is showing off now one of the spots where you can pick up another character because there is a fight attached to this one, and it is Octomom.
Octomom, and the character is Palom. So Palom can be a very useful character, even though he is one of the twins and starts with very low HP. He does get a lot of really great spells late game, so he is definitely a very useful character. Definitely is often ditched in lieu of some other characters, but I would put him and his sister Porum as kind of mid-tier characters, so really not bad at all.
No, especially at the beginning. More is better than less, so even marginal characters, and we all know who those are still welcome at the beginning.
Absolutely. To put it in reference, Cecil, Dark Knight Cecil specifically, is the most useless character in the game. So, but even beginning game, he can be decently useful. So that is not bad. Oh, did I just see Penguin get the pass?
I did not see that.
I thought, because he's in Silveria, and it looked to me like he had that. Oh.
We'll have to keep an eye on his item inventory. It'll flash up at some point.
Yeah, absolutely. Bringing up the chat as well, so chat can let us know.
Yeah. I was looking at Rivers. He appears to be going through the Antlion Cave, picking up chests, so I was kind of focused on maybe him picking up something important there.
Absolutely.
Because I believe, I'm not sure with these flags that the pass could be in a random chest.
No, these flags, no, it can't. It'll be in a, because I ran through this seed over the weekend. Or not this particular seed, but this set of flags. It will be in a shop. And no, the Japanese items are not turned on. The flags, they're at the beginning. I'll hunt them down for us just so I can confirm for everyone.
Boardface has you covered.
Thanks, Boardface.
Knew you had his back. Oh, look. So yeah.
You visit the website ff4-free-enterprise.com. You can paste that flag set in and apply and quickly see what all the runners have if we don't think we've done a good enough job explaining them. Or just are curious.
So
you can also see what other flags.
Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt, Trenton. I have confirmed that Penguin does have the pass.
Which means we know that it's in Silveria, so that's very good for our runners because it means they will get, providing they check all the shops in the overworld, they do not need underground access for the pass at least in order to get to Zeromus. They are still going to have to find the crystal in order to make him fightable. Oh, Antlions in the Fabul Gauntlet. How lovely is that?
He is tough in the Fabul Gauntlet.
Yeah. Yeah, the big
characters, not the most fun place to fight him either.
No, and the thing about Antlion is he counters all physical attacks, and with quite a nasty counter. And where he is in a later spot than where you usually fight him, he is going to be stronger than he would. But since Palom got a couple of levels, he does have his 2 spells, so that will definitely help do both damage and minimize on those counters. Okay, Penguin's doing Octomam up on Mount Hobbs, and Rivers is doing the Antlion location. So let's see who's in there. CPU. That's an interesting fight to have there because greatly scaled down overall. But let me tell you, if you destroy both that attacker and defender before CPU is dead, it will still do Globe 999 or a 99 on you and max damage you, and that is very painful at all times, let alone when you're at 200 HP.
For sure. And Rivers, I'm sure, knows what he's doing there.
Very much so.
Yeah. So we're probably not going to see Globe 999 there. Much sadness.
Yeah. Yes, sadness.
Looks like the Fabule item was the package, so that opens up another key item by going and defeating Mist Dragon first, and then taking the vanilla start to the game, going to Mist Village.
Totally randomized, guys. Totally randomized.
Totally random. So got some equipment, it looks like, here on Raptor's screen to give to Palom. Getting good equipment early on, if possible, is really important, especially for your underleveled characters, because it will allow you to fight some of the tougher bosses. Getting some dancing daggers on the go. Very useful beginning game item, as when used as an item, it does a magic attack for between 250 and 400 damage. So especially for characters like Palom, very useful.
So important, Rivers picked up the magma key, so he will be able to go underground now. It'll be interesting to see if he looks out for the other shops to find the pass, or whether he's just going to go straight underground at this point.
Yeah, and one of the neat little features which has been added into this particular randomizer is the ability to trash multiple items. By double-clicking on or double-selecting the trash can, you can go around and just start trashing items like Penguinator was just doing. And incredibly useful and makes things much quicker because, boy, do you get a lot of items. And many of them you just want to trash. Another feature which was added to help with that is the ability to just discard the item as soon as you pick it up.
Great feature.
Yeah, very nice.
We see Raptor here on the backside of Mount Hobbs that you rarely ever see, ever. Maybe in a casual play, but because there are a lot of chests back there, so definitely important to pick those up. And it looks like Raptor is going to go the short way up, or the traditional way up the mountain.
Well, more climbing. He came through the back way because you can only get in the regular way if you have Rydia, where she will learn Fire 1.
That's right. Thank you for correcting me on that.
No, it's okay. But yeah, it's definitely a good plan this early on to go check whatever chest you can come across. Later chests are always going to be better, or generally are going to be better items than the early chests. So of course you're going to get better items out of, say, Mount Hobbs than you would out of Kaipo.
Great, Sir Nico. Does double-clicking trash can work on the Mylon bus fight? Unfortunately not.
I wish.
We all wish that it would. That's unfortunately not possible. Maybe someday.
Yeah. If only.
Look who we see on Aaron's side.
Levy. Oh, very nice. Where is that he went to find Leviathan?
That is the guards who would show up to kill Rydia.
Oh, right. Lovely. So yes, and he is going to get Yang for doing that fight. Definitely quite a useful character, especially early on. Again, a kind of mid-tier character, but early on, very helpful. Because you don't have to give him much equipment for him to be able to attack and do some damage.
Some of these fights get very interesting based on their positioning in the boss randomizer, because they'll be extremely bad if you get them early, or extremely bad if you get them late, but you switch it around and they're completely different. So we've taken a couple of what could be really horrendous fights off the table already with Leviathan and CPU.
Absolutely. And you will note that Nirm found Ether 2s in Kaipo and picked up a stack of them. That's going to be really important because where the items are balanced, we're not going to find a lot of the kind of heavy duty items like elixirs, the Cure 3s, any of those really good curative items. So Ether 2s are a really great find, especially for later on when we're going to have more magic users, and especially against Zeromus, because anyone who's familiar with the kind of core game is probably familiar with the MP underflow glitch. I'm sure our racers will be making great use of that, but you automatically get healed upon going into Zeromus, so it does not work for that fight. So you definitely want to have some MP curative items for then. So it looks like other people are River's also checking the front side of Mount Hobbs. Penguinator getting his stack of dancing daggers.
Nirm is going traveling. Maybe he will. Oh, he's going to go to Silvera, and he is going to be very happy. He did.
He's going to find the pass, so that'll mean, again, he is able to go to Zeromus once he does find the crystal. Always great to do that. They are all going to have to find a good way to level up before they go to Zeromus, because unlike when we have J items turned on, in the J items, especially if you can get the higher level ones, they have items which allows you to increase your base HP and MP, making leveling a lot less important unless you need the spells. But in this particular version of the flags, you are definitely going to need to level.
Velociraptor has found CPU, so about to get the item out of here.
Yep.
Nirm has got the pass, and he is going places. We'll see what he's up to, where his thought process is. Apparently to go to Mysidia.
Yeah, good place to check some items. When you're playing without the no free lunch flags, Mysidia is a really good place to go first, as there are 2 free characters in Mysidia. So again, not going to get those in this particular set of flags, but always good to check armor and weapon shops to get as buff as possible.
Absolutely. He picked up some wizard robes and some rune rings, so that will definitely help out.
Yeah, one other thing I want to bring up with this particular set of flags is we do have one of the higher experience flags up, and what that means is once you reach 10 key items, they will get double the amount of experience in every battle, which makes the grinding up to the appropriate levels much quicker and easier. So hunting around for key items early on can be very helpful for that reason as well. Also, you might notice that the experience is not split between party members, so characters are getting more experience than they usually would get in the vanilla game.
It looks like Nirm's going to go up Mount Ordeals and
smart play.
Definitely, if he knows what he knows now, if I was really good like him, I would probably do the same thing.
Yeah, one of the things about Mount Ordeals is you can turn Cecil into a paladin, you can unlock all of Tellus spells, and if you have the Fusuya challenge on, which they do, if they have the one, I think they're on flag 1, and if so, that means going to and finishing Ordeals unlocks all of Fu's spells as well. You will also get a key item, so all of these things are really helpful and help with the progression a lot.
3 boss fights also are here as well, and they're usually your best source of experience. So even if you don't necessarily have a full in-game party at this point, you can move your people along, make them stronger for other places. With the Magma Key, they're very likely to start going to the subworld soon.
River's picking up the Wind Spear for Keen, which is actually pretty good at this point. So good item for him. We're about to see what Nirm is up to on Paladin. So we'll see how this goes.
Yeah, that could be... It's generally not too bad early game, but this is one of the bosses generally found on the moon. So not always easier to find them earlier. Let me tell you some stories about finding either Wyvern or Plague early, but that's neither here nor there. Yeah, Pale Dim isn't bad for sure. No, we don't want Wyvern. Wyvern's a jerk.
No, and as you can see, Pale Dim really hitting the slows, really trying to slow up Niram there. And Lit helps Pale Dim.
That is unfortunate.
Very unfortunate.
Yeah, this is why Mount Ordeals can be quite challenging because it's a boss rush, 3 bosses in a row, and you can be doing well and then just come across one boss who is extremely challenging, say Golbez. Golbez is extraordinarily fast, especially if you find him early. When you're quite weak, and he tends to murder your party before you even have a chance to do much of anything. So yeah, definitely a good place to save and take it easy. But again, the payoff for doing ordeals early can be really fabulous depending on your party layout.
And we have Rivers picking up the pass now, so it's just Raptor left who would need to pick up the pass at this point in terms of major key items. Niram continuing to fight against Pale Dim. It seems to be the unstoppable force meets the immovable object here.
Lost a bunch of that early damage because of the heal of Lit too, doing much better damage with the dancing daggers. So
yeah, and as they count, and they count as a magic attack. So 800 damage between Kane and Palom. Keeping that up is definitely going to help. And it looks like it might count counter physical attack, or just simply not doing enough. So making Cecil and Yang parry. But yeah, getting through that, lovely.
Yeah. But it's good. You have to, think on your feet. For someone maybe not of Niram's skill, you might just kind of hit your head against a proverbial wall there. So definitely important to change strategies on the fly if you can.
Yeah, and doing the smart move, using a tent and likely saving before progressing on to the next set of bosses, because again, they can be literally anything. So changing the party row as well for Niram, as the next boss is in Mylon Z's spot, so it is a back attack no matter what the boss is.
Lilith's a good source of experience in the early game.
Mm-hmm.
You're in default mode at this point, usually to run away from everything because all the early game stuff is such bad experience. But when you get the Liliths on Mount Ordeals, you're actually getting something that's decent. So often I have to stop myself from running away when I see that's what's here.
Absolutely.
We see Penguin Eater through CPU again, no problems there, especially with 4 characters. He's gonna pick up the Magma Key as well, so he has options as well.
Yeah, and Raptor just found the
path. To
path.
the subworld, you can get there either way by using the airship hook to carry the hovercraft over, or by using the Magma Key. Either path is going to end up giving you full access to the subworld.
Yeah, so Niram getting really lucky there on that really weird kick there from Yang, because all you need to do to defeat Yang is just hit him twice. So, and then he is apparently not. Never mind. Apparently, you actually have to kill him in this mode.
I believe you have to survive 2 or 3 attacks from him as well.
First, yeah. So he's trying to play the role of, can I kill him before he before the story triggers the end of the fight? And often you can, especially when finding people early. It doesn't hurt to try, certainly, especially in this case.
Some Yang on Yang violence there.
I love that backwards kick, though. That's giving me life.
There we
There
go.
it goes.
And he dies like Mylon Z. The death you deserve, Yang. The death you deserve.
So he's going to fall flat into the deep ravine.
Yep, and Rivers making the same play as Niram, going up Mount Ordeals. And I believe Raptor also picked up the pass.
Yes. And he's triggering the miss cutscene, so he's going to go through the process to pick up Yang, and they will all be pretty much back at level. Penguin stumbling upon life, which is super important in the pass location in Troya.
I always say there's 3 easy item shops to forget about when you're playing this.
That's interesting.
The pass. 1 is Vanilla, 2 is Hummingway Cave, and 3rd is with the Exiles.
Yeah, so Nirm just got the Darkness Crystal, which is actually the second way to get to the moon, as that will get you the big whale. So, he has two different options there for when he is ready to go to the moon. Plus, the moon is an excellent leveling area as well. So having early access to that can be helpful if that's how he chooses to level up. I don't think it is, but he has sure access to the moon, though, for sure.
For sure. Now the question is, what is he going to do? Is he going to search out perhaps something else? Is he going to get better gear? He doesn't have any life potions currently, but...
Yeah, and Penguin making the call to go right to the underground. He's not going to worry about minor deals.
There will also be a character available at the moon where Fusoya would join Vanilla. So if you're sitting here, especially with a non-full party, that's a compelling argument.
Yep. Also, going underground, you'll pick up at Dwarf Castle. You pick up somebody, I believe.
And a question in the chat is, when you get a full party and you find someone else, you have the choice to dismiss someone in your party or to dismiss the person trying to join. So your party is manipulatable to a point, especially if you happen to find out where someone is before you can recruit them, so you can choose whether you want to go back or not.
As for the character join locations, they will be at the normal places where someone would join your party, with a couple of exceptions. We're playing with the no free lunch rule set, so not all of the easy spots will have a character in this flag set, whereas they might in most of your playthroughs. And also, there is a bias against Edge and Fusoya under the flag set that they're playing with, so those become a little less likely to see.
For sure. I also do want to answer, confirm in chat, yes, there are multiple Final Fantasy IV randomizers, and I believe one of the other ones is being showcased tomorrow during the day. That's the Final Fantasy IV, the Lunarian Shuffle, if you want to see something a little different. That one is less open world and is just a completely different type of randomizer, so definitely make sure to give that a check out if you are interested in different Final Fantasy IV randomizers. So right away, Penguin's doing some shopping.
Yes, he taps, so that is why. In the no free lunch seed, you basically get no free characters. So the only way to get a character is typically by engaging a boss, things of that nature. So it appears as though Nirm is going to go to the moon now that he does have the whale. We see on Riverside he picked up the Darkness Crystal as well, so definitely two different strategies playing out here. We'll see how it works.
Penguinator has warp already. Ideally, you would have that before doing the fight here.
Yes, I learned that yesterday, that you need to have warp before, or otherwise you're sunk.
Unless you're really close to the levels, then it's not so bad, but unless you're right there with your levels. The reason for that is one of the glitches which was left in the game, and when you're not playing glitchless, is that as soon as you're done the two sets of fights in the Dwarf Castle, if you use warp right there on that spot, as soon as you get control again without moving, then you will be able to warp right back into the crystal room, which is actually the sealed cave crystal room, and get a key item from there, making it so you don't actually have to go to the sealed cave unless you want to, because it's a really great place for levels.
There was a question in chat, what is the goal? And of course it is to beat the final boss. Not naming names, but the final boss.
Yeah.
And to do that, they can either take the long way walking through the moon, or they can use the pass to warp there, and they will need the crystal to be able to defeat the final boss, which we have not found yet.
Porm. Porm is on the moon, so that's interesting. Yeah, I found Cure 1 on the moon yesterday. You can find the pass on the moon too. I've found that in certain seeds. So we've got Porm in this party for Nirm. That could be really good as well, because again, she learns really good white magic, not quite as early as Rosa does, and Rosa has more HP. So generally Rosa's better than Porm, but Porm is a great character to have for good healing, things like slow, berserk, and also white much later on.
Another quality of life thing that just has subtly happened here was where Niram landed. Of course, you can't do that in vanilla, but more of that has been opened up with the free enterprise randomizer and gives you easier access to that location.
Absolutely. I do want to just answer a question in chat. The twin command does still work here, and it is still glitched as usual, but honestly, you don't want to. It's not as good as just even regular attacking early on, and it's with the non-shared experience, usually the twins are just going to get better spells than twin will do for you fairly early on. So you can, but generally you're not even going to want to.
I've seen situations where Niram has used the twin command in just watching him doing it. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him do it, but...
Well, at this point, he doesn't really have much in the way of spells and stuff, but it definitely doesn't take long for it to no longer be useful. But no, you're absolutely right. Depending on when you get the characters, it is quite a powerful attack, so...
Yeah. And as he noted, because they're running on the 1.1 ROM, I guess there was some sort of a fix where the cast time is actually much quicker than in the 1.0 ROM.
Looks like Penguinator's strategy was visit the subworld just to get access to the easy chests before going to mount ordeals. So didn't try and go for the boss, didn't try and go for the first item there.
Yeah, his levels are still quite low, so I really can't say anything against that. And again, he was able to buy much better gear because he went underground.
For sure, definitely a smart play. We see Rivers going into the Hummingway Cave, so a lot of people don't realize that the one person he's going to talk to actually has some items. So he's going to pick up some Cure 2s, which is probably about the best we're going to see in this seed.
Mm-hmm.
At least in terms of curative items.
You mentioned earlier that the pass can be there under different flags. He could also potentially be selling elixirs, which might be one of the things you really want to find.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, if you're playing in a seed which is less balanced for items, elixirs are amazing. You definitely want those. Difference between Rivers and Niram, I believe Rivers just went into the shop. He did not check for the free character, so he did not pick up for him.
Nope, he did. Picked up for him.
No, he didn't.
No,
I just saw his party.
All right. Pretend I said nothing. I could have sworn he went in there.
I wish he did.
No, he did. He picked up Porum. Rivers has Porum.
No, Rivers has Palom.
And Porum, watch.
So is it Yang he didn't get? Oh my god, Cecil on Cecil Love. Look at that.
See,
I stand
I'm not
absolutely
losing.
Corrected.
First time ever. I'm going to write this down.
Yeah,
forever.
write it in. Write it down. On the record. Well, that's actually really good, though, because Porum is excellent to have. Yang's not bad, but I would take Porum over Yang, personally.
And Ogopogo in this spot.
The bad news for Rivers Ogopogo, the good news is guard slot, so quite easy fight.
Yes.
I was about to say, Ogopogo here isn't too bad.
Yeah, and especially if you know the triggers. I think this is Mylon Z. Mylon Z! So that's going to be a little more difficult, but not too bad.
It is Game Boy. Natara is top tier and she never messes up. So.
Oh yeah, I do. Oh my goodness.
Just one of those other little incidental things we didn't mention yet. Once you have the big whale, you're able to summon the Giant of Babel fight anytime you choose by talking to the guard who's on the airship. So they do have that option anytime they choose.
Yeah, it's the same with when you pick up the Earth Crystal. You can then go into the Castle of Troya, and there's a gentleman in there who will allow you access to Tower of Zot.
Question in chat from Frith to the Link to the Past rando people. Is there a pedestal hype equivalent in this game? It is a good question.
It is an excellent question. The closest to pedestal hype that I do is Who is Zeromus this time, but I'm trying to think because there's...
I know nothing about Link to the Past rando.
Yeah, no, because pedestal hype is the bad place no one wants to go. You need a lot to get there. Pass on the Moon is probably one of the equivalents because you need to get a way to the moon in order to get a quick way to Zeromus, so it's less fun. So this is a full run. This is not to Paladin. This is a full race, folks. But yes, I would say Pass on the Moon is one of those things. Crystal being the last key item is another one, because then it means you have to go to everywhere there's a key item and fight through all of that. But again, there's no... Pass on the Moon is closest, because again, it means you need access to the moon to get to the final boss. So it's kind of redundant at that point. So
yeah, there's also different flags that would more generate that. If there's more potential places for, say, the crystal to be, then it's going to be a lot easier for it to be in a really troll location.
Yeah, absolutely. And often having the crystal be the last item is less because of the seed and more because of the order in which you chose to check things. So,
Rivers,
so that's not a good pedestal equivalent. Yeah, Rivers.
Rivers did pick up the crystal.
Did he? I thought I saw that there at one point. Where did he get it? I didn't catch that.
I was watching Nirm's shenanigans.
He's had it for a while then, because I thought I saw it in his inventory earlier.
I don't know where he got it.
No, I have no idea where he got it either.
I got Dark Crystal doing Mount Ordeal. Baron Inn, okay.
Baron Inn, that's
where
where
we
he
haven't
got
seen many people
it.
do that yet.
No, I think he's the only one.
Yeah, no one else has been to the inn yet.
So that means, and he has the pass as well, so he can technically go to Zeromus as soon as he has the levels. So he's probably looking for items and gear as well. Both of those things are very helpful. Speaking of someone who fought Zeromus with not so great gear yesterday, it's not so fun even if you have the levels. So extra key items also make the grind easier. So if you can level up bosses at the same time. Anyways, we're going to see what he does. There's definitely some strategies.
For sure. I think he's going to just go underground. He might fight Dwarf Castle.
It looks like he's at least going to check Dwarf Castle's gear.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he might fight the fights, but yeah. It's always interesting at this point in the game when you're in sort of a go mode, if you will, but not quite.
Yeah, because he's in Rivers is in key item go mode. Rivers is not in my people will not die to the final boss go mode.
That's true.
Yeah.
He's ready. He doesn't need to get any more key items.
Yeah, exactly. So, and that's where you want to be, because then you're going at your own schedule. You decide whether you're just going to grind or look for better items. The rest, they have no choice. They must keep fighting bosses and looking for the correct chain of key items until they find the crystal. That is non-negotiable.
And at 35 minutes, that's actually quite quick to have those items.
Yeah, also worth noting, River is in one of the other locations where a character can be reached, because this is where Rydia would rejoin your party. So doing these fights would give you another item plus another character.
Yeah, look for Rivers. I know Rivers is awesome and amazing, but I don't even think he'd be crazy enough to go with just 4 guys. But you never know.
Well, He is.
He is. That's the smart play right there.
Oh my god, is that Bahamut bouncing back there? Is that Odin?
I couldn't tell.
It looked like the purple cloak, which I always mix up whether that's Bahamut. I always think that's Bahamut, but we'll find out. Yeah, it looks like
Bahamut.
It is Bahamut.
Oh, yes.
So this will be interesting.
I love watching whoever gets the dolls dance around. It can be really amusing, like Bahamut. So, Bahamut's not too bad. You just really want to get him dead before he Mega Nukes you. Or flares, whatever his big attack is. So, it's definitely doable, especially getting him in an early spot such as this. So Nirm is doing the same thing. Actually, Rivers and Nirm are in the same fight here. Nirm having a bit of an advantage, having an extra character. And looks like higher levels as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rivers is a little low for this fight, so...
Pelham doing work, but still not enough to take him down.
It's okay. They've got time.
Yeah, but what is it? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then have
Yeah.
fun.
Stacking the slows, though, to keep that turn order down as much as possible.
Exactly, and it's something that many are probably not familiar with, is that most of the effect flags are turned off for bosses, but for most, slow is not. So it is a really good strategy for many, if not all of the bosses, to cast slow, and you can stack it multiple times, not infinite times, but stacking it
3.
twice. It is 3. I know 2 is kind of the ideal for slowing down the boss, so I will note Rivers is through, and Nirm's getting mega nuked.
Interesting. So as you can see there, that's a bit of a no bueno.
Yeah, so I don't know how much slower the bosses get. Some of them it's not noticeable at all, but generally speaking, it is helpful. So yeah, it just goes to show sometimes you get the strategy just wrong if you are not used to a particular character combination or what particular stats the boss will have depending on where you fight them. It can make bosses a little challenging. So you will see people who generally, wow, Odin right after Bahamut.
Nice.
You will see people who generally don't save in regular speedrunning, save all the time during these randomizers because yeah, the bosses might be scaled, but they're still jerks.
And you pick up everybody's favorite, Tella.
No, he's nobody's favorite. Take that back.
He's nobody's? All right. Well, look, he just did 12 damage Shodan. That's pretty boss for
Whoa. And the good thing about getting Tella here is, well, moderately good thing, is because they have done man ordeals already, it means he has all of his spells. He still only has 90 MP, but, and yes, apparently I was correct. Odin was here too. Guys, I told you I saw Bahamut and Odin. Don't doubt my eyes.
Importantly, though, Tella has warp.
Yes,
so
he does.
We're about to see River make good use of that.
Super lucky.
Yes. Very lucky, because otherwise, well, I think Porum had enough, or Palom had enough levels to do warp.
Yeah. If not, though,
Maybe.
it's fine. One thing to note is now that Dwarf Castle has been done, Rydia, wherever she is now an adult. It's like the man ordeals kind of flags where, you know, Cecil becomes a paladin and, you know, folks get their spells whether they're with you or not. Same with Rydia being an adult. So that can be certainly helpful. Gives her some more summons, at least. But Kid Rydia is still better than Tella, as she is much faster and will still eventually learn Medio, which I find amusing.
And free adamant armor for Rivers. He does not warp. Interesting.
He doesn't need to.
No, I guess he doesn't need to, but
So,
I mean, you're there.
Yeah, so getting the pink tail. Well, he doesn't even have the hook, does he? So
No.
No.
So he's blocked by actually getting his free adamant armor,
And-
which would be super important.
not necessarily important, but really helpful. Adamant armor is the what you get for turning in the pink tail in vanilla, and that has not changed. Pink tail is a key item, but you do not get another key item for passing it in, unlike the rat tail, which you will. But if you do have the hook and can bring the bring everything over, it is very helpful to get that adamant armor because it is OP.
Actually, I think the biggest thing about not getting that second item, though, is the count and getting to 10 key items as fast as you can. which-
Yeah, he might actually be planning to go into the sealed cave for leveling, so he can just pick it up while he's there. I'd be curious to ask him later what his thoughts were as to why he didn't use warp to get the item.
Crystal
Change Rod
Shield
is-
and Aether too. This is a nice little treasury here.
And I was going to say, Change Rod is worth it though, even if it is expensive. It gives you quite a boost for your spells, so definitely worth it. So Nirm finishing up his Odin.
Boardface noting in chat that Tella does have weeks, so grind fight is good to go. I did use Tella in my grind fight last night. Seemed to work okay.
Yeah, I have to do some math on timings as to whether it's faster to do grind fight in the pass or whether walking, if you have the dark crystal, using the big whale to walk to Zeromus. I think grind fight is probably much faster.
Yeah.
So you can go into the giant, summon the, get the correct fight, which is an alert, which summons anything really, but traditionally it's been the D machine, and by using the vitality glitch, which is aiming it to have a life on it as soon as it dies, or just after it dies, you can get quite a lot of experience in just one fight.
Yes, Lord of the Synth, when you kick someone out of the party, unless you pick them up again, they go into the ether. They're gone.
Yeah. So occasionally there are duplicate characters, but yeah.
As we see Raptor, who's going to be picking up Poor on the moon.
And River has found a trapped chest, one guarded, so it's monster in a box, and that means usually it's going to be one of the better sources of equipment.
Yeah, and he could use it as a grind fight as well.
And there we go. Tella's having a nap.
Well, somebody has to make sure the floor is okay. Somebody's got to give it that close inspection.
I was going to say it's the adamant that you pick up, not the pink tail. So the adamant is used to, if you have the legend sword, to turn it into Excalibur. But by itself, other than being a key item, is useless.
It's also slightly more important in these flags if you're able to find both of them, because that will open up another shop which can have higher tier stuff than what's in the rest of the shops. But that said, you usually don't go hunting for both items, so...
We do see Penguin has gone through the Baron fight, and now he realizes he's in no more items mode.
Again, unless he needs them for healing, for the levels. But,
he has the bare minimum to go.
I still like to call it go mode because you're not searching anymore. You can just go on with the game.
Yes, absolutely.
That's true.
Okay, Raptor's leaving the moon and heading back to the planet, regular planet, while Penguinator is heading back underground.
I think Nirm's going to the Cave of the Monsters to pick up the box that would normally have the rat tail in it.
Yeah, that is one of the key item locations.
Yeah, I don't see another reason at this point, although he might look at the item shops while he's there as well. Just something I noticed that was a little bit different there.
Rivers looks like he is taking advantage of this alert to get some fights in. Let's see if he's doing the vitality glitch while he's there. Quake is beautiful, by the way, especially in this sort of fight, as it does next to nothing to the alert, but it does trigger the next enemy and often kills the enemy. Quake is actually just in general a very good spell.
A downfall of the cave for Nirm.
Yep.
You want to either cast float, because as you run over those poison tiles, you lose health, or you just reset and go back.
Yeah.
Is anyone in a clear lead, Ruble? I would hardly say clear. Maybe Rivers.
There's no clear
Penguin.
lead.
Yeah, only because they have the key items. So if we were to call it a clear lead, they have the minimum items to go. So
knowing where the crystal is the biggest advantage that anybody has, and we're, I believe, about to get our third runner there, so...
Yeah, and where everyone has the pass as well, it means everyone has access to the final boss fight, and once a Raptor clears Mylon Z here, he will also have the crystal to change Zeromus into his fightable form. So, again, that's 3 racers in the equivalent of go mode. So that will put Nirm a lot behind, though he is getting levels, which is also very important.
But knowing all of these runners, it's hard to say, Nirm's definitively in the lead or Rivers is definitively
in the lead. Nirm is an amazing runner. He frequently comes in first for the weeklies. So again, him looking like he doesn't have, he hasn't done. I didn't think he did the Baron in.
No, he has. He's the only one who hasn't at this point. But I think
we'll happily check his items if and when he goes back into his menu.
So we're going to see there is a key item here. So we are going to see him pick up this item in that chest there. And
Legend.
That is
the
the legend
legend
sword.
sword. Woo!
So he can get the Excalibur if he so wishes, which he can then dupe, which is only useful if you have edge, because you can toss Excaliburs not just at enemies, but also at Zeromus, which is great damage. You really like that, but if you don't have edge, there's no point.
I'm curious if that wouldn't make runners maybe do a little more than they normally would to search for him.
I believe also in these flags, edge is harder to find.
He is, and
Yes.
if you've already got a full party and you're basically ready to go, I personally wouldn't go out of my way looking for him, but it doesn't mean these runners would not.
No, absolutely.
A lot of it's
Yeah.
going to do with comfort level, how comfortable you are with any given character. Now, these are all for very high-level runners, so they're going to be good with most party combinations. If it's me, where I'm a little newer to the randomizer, I would gonna prefer drastically having, say, a Fasoya over a Tella. I'd even take Edge over Tella personally.
I'd take basically anyone over Tella. Tella may have the spells, but he is incredibly, incredibly slow. And especially without J items, he has only 90 MP, meaning he cannot even use Meteo on Zeromus, and he really can't use any good spells regularly. I don't even think he gets spells like Nuke and White. So he's generally just pretty garbage. I'd still take Tella over, say, Edward or Dark Knight Cecil, but that's about it.
Tella has wall. That's important.
Yes,
I just want to
absolutely.
say thank you greatly to Penguinator for finally showing off Warp in that situation. Twin
Nice.
Harp
What
was
did
the
he?
second item.
Oh, Twin Harp. That could be excellent if he goes. I don't think he will go and show that off. One of the things which has been randomized, which is completely not useful but really kind of amazing, is the harp song that plays when you use the Twin Harp at the Dark Elf location. So yeah, so it's fabulous. It's really great. One of those little beautiful touches which is added, but not at all required, so probably won't go. Oh, look, and Nirm is going to go get the Excal.
You did it.
The Excalibur with that shop, which does have the higher items. So I was saying earlier that you're not necessarily going to go out of your way for it, but boy, if you can get it, you might find elixirs for sale.
Yeah, so on River's
Fire.
screen here, he is fighting Golbez, which is really quite scary. Golbez is extraordinarily fast, and he just kills 2 or 3 random characters, unless you happen to have an adamant armor or get Kane up in the air. Yeah, it can be really terrible. Oh, Nirm found elixirs.
Yeah, in when he handed an
Oh.
Excalibur from that one guy who turns into a shop. So
I didn't realize he turned into a shop. That's amazing.
if someone wanted to say that, there's a definitive lead, I would say Nirm now is in a definitive lead with elixirs. He's going to go probably just into a grind mode.
Yeah, he also apparently has the cursed ring, which you would think is not useful at all. I'm trying to check his inventory, see if he has crystal. Cursed ring is really helpful because agility is a really big deal in this game, both for random encounters, but also for Zeromus himself. You want to have your party be quite slow in order to slow down Zeromus's turns, especially if you have Cecil. Cecil is not a character you want in your party for speed, as the game kind of default looks at his speed. So yeah, if you do have him, you want him to have the cursed ring. Slow him down a lot.
Nirm was
And
so
I
happy
don't-
about finding those elixirs, he went out, did the dupe glitch again to sell the slot, and got enough money to buy 99 more elixirs.
Yep.
It's
Also, Golbez was in the cannon room fight. Sorry to cut you off there. So he had much lower HP.
Oh, excellent. That's not always helpful because, again, depending on where you fight him, he is incredibly fast. So you can get him really early and he just murders you. It doesn't matter how good the HP is. But thankfully, Rivers got through that. Not a problem.
looks as though Penguin is going to go into grind mode here by triggering the Giant of Babel screen. It looks like Nirm did not have the crystals. Now he's in the Baron Inn.
Okay,
So
good. I
he
didn't
is-
think he had gotten it, but he will get it now.
He will. I was looking, I didn't see it, but
no, I hadn't
Nirm,
either.
Nirm goes pretty fast, as do all of these runners who are amazing. So
Yeah.
definitely, I would have said Niram's behind, but once he picks up the crystal, he'll be good to go. But Penguin is really close. River's also really close, and Raptor's also really close. So it is a quick seed, considering the flags, because we're at 52 minutes, and I could see any one of these guys finishing it within the next half an hour.
Yeah, which is incredibly quick, especially for these particular flags, which aren't the easiest. So yeah, mainly grinding now. So whether they choose to get the 10 key items and grind that way, or just hop into a regular grind fight, that's going to depend on the particular users. And yeah, we are potentially looking at 130 quick. We'll see shortly. I won't necessarily call that for sure, but considering all of them have access to Zeromus and just need to level up, it seems likely.
Yeah, especially with Niram, he has Excalibur. So
and elixirs.
And elixirs. That's probably the key at this point. The other runners probably aren't going to go back to the Underworld for all of that, whereas it paid off for Niram. Sometimes, much like in other randos, you take a risk and you get a reward. So that of the 4 runners, I think Niram's the only one who decided to go down that path. Rivers took a different path and went through the tower, which I don't think Penguin or Raptor have done. So, it's definitely still a close race, but you can see just a little bit of separation going on.
We can also make Penguin go show off the twin harp for a good 8 to 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, really. So I've just mentioned in chat, I am going to talk with the racers after to see if they want to do anything cool after. But I don't want to mention anything now because that is a spoiler.
Yeah.
And guys, when doing randos, the key rule, don't spoil. Just don't.
Yeah. And we say a half an hour, it could still be more. It truly
yeah, and I want to note this seed has been incredibly generous, both with item and character locations, but also all the key items and such. We did flags very similar to this last night, not exactly the same, but close. And even Niram was an hour and a half, I think, for that. And we had raised, I know myself, I wasn't even done at 3 hours. So it was, these are not easy seeds and flags, sorry. So it just kind of depends how it plays out. And thankfully it played out really well for these runners. So lucky with these flags.
Yep. But also their skill level overall, just knowing where to go and what to do.
Absolutely. These 4 racers are all very excellent Final Fantasy IV vanilla runners. And so that definitely helps with the randomizer, though isn't perfect. You definitely need experience with the randomizer itself, which again, all 4 of these runners do have and are quite good.
Absolutely. So again, we see Penguin going back into the Giant again. He was looking for items before. I don't know if he's going to go and look for the grind fight this time.
I'll be curious to see if anyone actually completes the Giant of Babel, or if they just take the grind and then leave as soon as it's done.
We see Rivers is going to pick up another key item here. It might be the rat tail.
Nice.
But
Still doesn't have the hook, though. Yeah.
Yeah. So who knows where hook is?
So yeah, without the hook, they cannot access it. The tails cannot be turned in until you have the hook.
Excuse me.
I think because runners found the crystal when they did, it kind of took them away from some of the locations they could have checked. For instance, if they had done Tower of Babel having the key, which they did from the start, they could have gotten 2 items for doing that.
Absolutely. Turns out they wouldn't have particularly needed that other than for the 10 items, but yes. So I know Niram there is walking back and forth looking for the grind fight, or a grind fight, so that'll be very helpful.
And this could be it.
Mm-hmm. So Searcher with 2 beamers is what you're looking for, and they can either have I think it's a Centaur is the name of the enemy, no, or Horseman, sorry, or ideally it has the D machine. Timings won't be exact, but they can figure it out. As long as you've got weak, you can make it work.
Yeah, and Tella thankfully has weak, so he can definitely make that work with the people that he has.
Yeah. Okay, so Raptor's turn to fight Golbez in the tower.
River's taking a
also politely give 3 of your characters a rest because they've been working so hard. They need a break.
Very hard. Yep, absolutely.
River's finding 1 elixir, so
Yeah.
he
Popped
must.
in Eblin.
Yep, he must think he just won the lottery there.
Yeah. Too bad you can't duplicate items.
Yeah, that is unfortunate. And that's really unfortunate, leaving Cecil and Palm alive for Golbez there.
Okay, so just about to find out whether this is our grind fight or not. I have a feeling Nirm will probably take it no matter what it is. So taking off the Excalibur so you can do just a little bit of damage to that alert. Perfect, it is the grind fight he is looking for, because we know these D machines give a lot of experience. So the strategy here is to cast weak, have someone just smack it, and have the other 2 of the other characters use life. So you will get 3 for the price of 1 if you can get the timings correct. 2 for the price of 1 is still good though.
And Nirm able to get 3 for 1. What a
Very
deal.
nice. So he just needs to kill 15, generally speaking, of these D machines, or get 15 worth. So if he is getting 3 each turn, he just needs to do it 5 times. So that will definitely be helpful. He is going to have to take some time to cure in between, but potentially. But so long as you don't hit the Searcher in between the fights, that's not a problem at all. Only
No,
taking
it
2
just
seconds.
says it just blinks and says identifying object and just hangs out.
Yeah. Oh no, did get the 2.
You did. It's a very short timing window, but Nirm, again, being a pro speedrunner and having a really good no 64 time, he knows how the grind fight works. So definitely not a beginner to it. That's for sure.
Not at all. And yeah, this is definitely much faster than trying to go to the moon to get that experience.
We do see Penguin Eater also in the grind fight. He's in a non-back attack, so.
And actually, I was just going to say regarding my math, the math I was giving was for actually only 1 character. So to get everyone up higher, though the experience is not shared. So since the experience is not shared, you can do the exact same strategy and everyone will get that amount of experience rather than, So it is pretty great.
Question in chat, if pink puffs are in the random monster pool, they will only be in their normal location. However, personally, I'm still lobbying for them to be added to the boss pool.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, so they're still in that 1 spot in the lunar subterranean. It's still a 1 in 64?
Yes.
Yep. Yeah, so. So we see, just so that Penguin spends less time worrying about Tella getting potentially hit by D Machine, because at this point Tella's super weak. So he has put Blink. That's why Tella looks like he's seizing all the time there.
Yeah, it looks much better when you're actually there, but something about that spell, Blink, never comes through correctly through stream. It looks really terrible.
Yeah. It's quite comical. 60 frames per second's hard.
Okay, so just to answer the question in chat, random encounters are actually a flag in this particular randomizer, and in this case, encounters are the normal rate of encounter. You can pick different flags to make them lower or not at all. You can just turn them off completely. So it is, right now what a bunch of them are fighting. Penguinator and Nirm are actually fighting random encounters right now, as is Rivers. Raptor found the dolls. Lucky, unlucky him.
Rivers is actually farming monster in a box fights, so he's gone to Elven Castle to pick up the fights there.
Intriguing, because not only are those high experience, he gets a higher than normal chance of getting some good items, as the trapped monster chests actually still have good items in them.
In a curse ring, that won't hurt. Lower Cecil's agility.
Yeah, absolutely. Always good to have one, just in case he does not end up getting the legend sword and everything.
Yeah.
So when it comes to the trapped chests, they are not guaranteed to be in the same location, but there will be the same number of trapped chests in a location. So say Eblan Castle usually has 5. That's a random number. I don't know that that's the correct number. It will still have 5. It's just they will move around Eblan Castle. So same thing.
You were close. It's actually 4.
Oh, so close. I knew there was a decent amount of them in Eblan, because Eblan hates everyone. Okay, River's heading back underground. Curious to see where he is heading. Wonder if it's Sealed Cave. No, it is the Land of Summoned Monsters.
So he might actually pick up elixirs at this point and gain some serious ground.
Yeah, it does mean he is further behind, though, currently, because both Nirm and Penguinator are both in their grind fights. So, and Nirm, I'm thinking, is probably not far off being done completely. And actually, all of the runners have the crystal and the pass, and most, if not all of them, have the dark crystal as well, so have been to the moon. So they are literally all just getting their levels up, whether by just grind fighting or by getting their 10 key items and trying to level up that way. So we can get ready to go fight Zeromus. Now, one thing I'm going to bring up now, as we are probably getting close to at least one Zeromus fight, is the best flag, in my opinion, is the Z flag, which can be turned on or off. I don't know why you'd have it off. The reason this is the best flag is because it randomizes Zeromus's sprite, and only his sprite. His actions and HP and everything else stay exactly the same. So as it is purely a cosmetic flag and a really awesome one, we always turn it on because it's so much fun. So as we start getting ready to go Zeromus, we'll get some guesses in chat to see who you think Zeromus might be. We have seen the Train from Final Fantasy VI, Ultros from Final Fantasy VI, actually a lot of Final Fantasy VI bosses, Atma from Final Fantasy X, Dark King from Mystic Quest the other day.
Yeah,
So-
it was X-Death.
X-Death, yeah. I've had M. Bison twice. Not M. Bison, I had M. Bison once. Who was the other guy? I
Mike
had?
Tyson.
Mike Tyson. M. Bison is also there, but I have had Mike Tyson twice.
Yeah.
There's also the giant hand.
Oh yes, I saw that once. I think that's all I've seen.
I sometimes say Zed. I don't like Zed, but it's more clarifying. I'm Canadian, by the way, which is why they're saying that. Listen, we're not getting in a Z versus Zed fight. All we know is that the flag is amazing, no matter how you pronounce it.
It is. This,
Strongly advised.
Yeah.
This, yes. In this randomizer, it is by far, above and beyond, the best flag. You should just run just Zed flag, and that's it.
But worth noting, we've started doing weekly races on Monday of Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise, and the flags have been varied for the first 2 weeks so far, and they'll continue to be varied, but the one you're going to see on consistently is that Z flag. So if you see this and you'd like to see more, the website is ff4-free-enterprise.com. There's also a link to the Discord there. Plenty of nice people there, and all the help you could ask for to get started.
Yeah. There's Rivers account has put together some great guides on what the J items do, because not everybody might be familiar with, Bacchus wine and Boreas and Gaia drum and all those other J amazing items, and what each key item does and what you want to do. It looks as though Nirm's happy with where he's at.
Oh my, I have to read this. Boardface says, I'm Canadian, I made this randomizer, and Z flag is pronounced Q.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm screaming. In a good way. I promise. This is why you guys are the best.
So again, Tella won't be able to survive. He might be able to survive a nerfed Big Bang, but we're probably just going to be looking at a Keen Cecil Chop Fest, probably.
Yeah, and it looks like Nirm is, rather than complete the Tower of Babel, is just leaving. He's like, no, we're out. So yeah, Grind Fight is amazing, very helpful. Again, you can do that in Final Fantasy IV Vanilla. And if you're doing the No 64 run, you actually do use that. So very helpful in Randomizer, unless you're doing glitchless, in which case I recommend, there's a few different places you could go. If you have the Darkness Crystal, the Moon is fabulous. Going to the Sealed Cave, fighting trapdoors is great. If you don't have underground access, you can go to Eblin, like Tower of Babel through Eblin is not bad. Tower of Zot. Again, it tends to depend on what key items you've got.
Speaking of key items that you get, Philosopher Raptor just was able to get the rat tail for completing the cannon room. Still no hook though that I've seen, so can't do anything with that.
Oh, so we've got Nirm leaving the giant. And so basically all it does is just drops you back into the whale, and it looks as though Nirm's in go mode.
And Nirm is in position to save and make a run for it. As one of our runners from last night will tell you, never forget to save after you do your grind.
Never ever. Just don't forget to save, generally speaking, because you could find a bug midway and lose time as well. So
that never happens, right?
That never happens. That didn't happen to me 5 times, like 3 times yesterday. But seriously though, this is a really well put together randomizer, but it is still in work. So if you are playing it and find any bugs, please come to the Discord and let us know. Boardface is always on the ball and just fixing them up right away. And there's a really fabulous community, always ready for people to race, to talk strategy, just so many different things. So definitely feel free to come and join us and have some races.
Chat, get your Zeromus guesses in now, as we're about to find out.
Yep.
I'm gonna go with Mike Tyson, just because I know he's in there.
I'm still waiting for both Train and Ultras. I need to see them.
Well, I hope you're right.
Yeah, Rivers also got his Excal, so he was able to buy his elixirs.
Yep.
Here's my question. If we get the train, how are we going to suplex it?
Oh, Yang will show you how. Let's see what we got.
Zeromus HD. Nice, though. Nice.
Yes, there is also Zeromus HD, which is just a prettier and much larger version of Zeromus.
Oh, is there? I haven't seen that one.
Oh yeah, it's actually in there. I think it may have actually been Raptor or Storm who got it. I saw kind of the tail. I saw the end as it was dying. So let's see. We got like a few seconds left. Yeah, grind. And yes, the point that the grind fight is still valid in glitchless. You just can't. You have to actually fight 15 of them versus using the vitality glitch. Let's see what we got. So excited.
By the way, don't put in an attack that's going to go off before he transforms, because it will not count.
Yeah, it will miss.
Oh!
Yes,
Everyone loses on their guesses, but
Who
we all
said
win for seeing
Ultimus?
this.
Someone said
Did
that.
anyone? Because I haven't seen this one. I've literally never even heard of before. Yeah, actually, you know
Z-Man
what?
did.
Z-Man did. You win. That is
Nice.
Applause,
amazing.
Z-Man. You've earned it.
I haven't seen this one either.
I haven't
so
either. I love that he's in the Dalton Imperial.
wow.
Arrow Darwin.
Arrow, that's it. I had it the other day. I even named my Epoch ADI.
Z-Man, you can pick up your sweet SRL points at SRL.com.
Yeah, they'll definitely redeem those for you.
Yes. But as you can see, even though the sprites changed, Big Bang still hurts like a truck.
Yeah,
We'll
and
still do the usual counters.
yeah, Porm did not make it. Not so good. Potentially can still make it without.
Yeah. Well, he has elixir, so I think it's just going to be a punch and elixir kind of. No, no, he changed his mind.
Reset.
Yeah, he was like, nope, that didn't work.
Nope.
So he's gonna do it again.
It is possible, board face.
He wants to put the cursed ring on. He realizes Zeromus was going much too fast, so he wanted to slow things down a bit. So that cursed ring will help a lot.
So Zeromus's speed is based on Cecil's agility.
Mm-hmm.
So we drop on the curse ring and be like, well, that makes no sense.
Yeah. And this is going to be interesting because we don't have a Cecil in Penguin's party, and because Nirm had to leave, we could find this to be a very different fight. It could be Penguinator who ends up taking the win due to that reset. So this has gotten very close between those two, at least. So let's see what happens.
Yeah, especially Tella is very slow, so.
And you put him in the middle spot, which is the highest priority position. So the game is more likely to take that info. So yeah, using Tella to cast Berserk on Yang, always very helpful if you can manage it to have Berserk on one or both of your physical attack characters.
It will both speed them up, cause more damage, and just all around it's a good thing. The only downside is they can't use items.
Yeah, and one of the problems with using magic against Zeromus is that, or Daltonmus, is that he will counter with nuke. So if you do it at the right time, though, it really nukes the damage values for Big Bang, as you saw there, for Penguinator, and that is certainly ideal.
Yeah, and thankfully Porm's still alive, so he can recast Berserk on Kane there, and he is going to bring Tella back. Interesting, because I feel like Tella's just going to fall back down again. But I don't know.
Since you've got Porm there, it's better to have the extra healers.
Yeah, well, they're a team, I guess. Tella's part of a team.
Yeah.
He likes that. But yeah, I would say at this point, it would be Penguins to lose. I would say.
Yeah, especially where he's got both Kane and Yang berserked and doing quite a bit of damage. Cecil could be the downfall for Nirm, because again, Cecil is Terabad. So we kind of hope. We're gonna see. It could be close, but again, he's got Cecil and the I want to say elixir, the Excalibur. So that's also pretty fabulous. Yeah,
The
Cecil's
wall
awful,
strat's
guys.
coming into play.
Wall strats are great, because again, we mentioned that Zeromus will counter any magic attack, but if it's bounced off a wall first, it will not, and white does quite a bit of damage to Mr. Daltonmus here, so definitely a great thing to do.
Question in chat, what happens if you go into this fight without the crystal? You'll never be able to hit Zeromus.
Yeah, you cannot transfer him into the second form, and he just doesn't take damage, and he'll murder your face. Or, I don't even know if he attacks you in this form, or whether you're just kind of soft-locked. So yeah, you need the crystal, unfortunately. Unless you can find a way to get up to Ko, and then you're fine. But,
good luck with
neither
that.
here nor there. Yeah, good luck. We believe it
Not
is
like
still
any
possible.
runner has ever gone to the fight forgetting that they didn't have the crystal already.
No one's ever done that.
Never.
Never.
Certainly none of us here in commentary.
Yeah, I haven't yet.
I did like the first seed I ever did and went, oh, okay, I have the pass, but
I've tried to go to Dark Elf without the Twin Harp, realized it mid-walk, and went, nope, and left. But,
I actually got to Dark Elf. I didn't know.
Drumboardist, that was beautiful. He points out that so Penguin, who did not get Cecil, seems to have the edge. Clever.
So River has done more exploring than the other runners. Now he's back at Baron Castle. So I gotta figure that's him chasing the 10 key items, and I'm pretty sure he has the crystal.
He does.
Yeah, he does. And you'll note that it looks like his party is near death, but actually he has Paladin Cecil. So the best strategy in this fight is to let Paladin Cecil cover the physical attacks. So leaving your party in low health is actually okay for Valvalis so long as you've got Cecil. As long as they're in critical status, that is. Otherwise, it's a little more dangerous. So
Yeah, definitely. I'm wondering what Rivers' thinking is. He must be thinking that the other runners might still be taking some time.
Yeah,
we have a Meteo on Penguin's side, so
which is great. That's the second phase. That means Zeromus is almost dead. So that is definitely ideal.
and it's a GG for Penguinator, the winner.
Yep. So he finishes with an official SRL time of 1:17:23. So congratulations to Penguinator. Nirm is very likely not far behind at all. So we are likely to see the Meteos start coming through. Really well done by all the runners, honestly. So once Rivers gets his last key, his 10th key item, though, he will be able to level up even faster because, again, it will double the amount of experience he gets. So, yeah, see what he does. And actually, by him fighting D-Mist here, that will give him a free key item. Rydia's mom is still in Mist, and he will be able to go and talk to her and get a free key item. It balances out the amount of key items by even after taking some of the free ones away.
And we do have Meteo on Niram's side, so
yeah.
Again, really close.
Happy about them casting Meteo on you. It means you're close to the end.
Yeah, it is ideal. As soon as it's the one time in the game you really want to see Meteo. Okay, so he is done. So that's an official SRL time for Nirm of 1:18:51. If he had not reset or had to reset, that may have gone very differently. So super close.
Yeah, no, again, considering the flags, a blistering pace. Like even 1:18, even on easier flags, is considered a pretty good time. So definitely GG to both Penguin and Nirm on their finishes here. We do still have Rivers and Raptor still going at it. Was this a Jet Seed couch? No, just some fortunate luck. The Crystal was in Baron Inn. The pass was in
Silveria.
Silveria, thank you.
And we also had the Dark Crystal available easily, so that set up the Giant of Babel for being able to grind experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That getting those items so early, especially the access to Zeromus, really helped. Yeah. So let's see, Luca key there for Rivers. Again, getting these key items don't matter so much other than the extra experience. So he is also using the package. So that will give him access to Yang, who I thought he already had, but maybe does not.
You'll have several characters be in multiple locations.
Yeah, so that's
especially
probably...
with these flags, you tend to see a lot of duplication with only one place for Pasoya and Edge, respectively.
Yeah, and one thing you're going to notice in the credits is it will tell you where all of the key items were. So gives you a kind of rundown of how many chests, key items, bosses, things like that you fought or completed. So can kind of give you a bit of an idea of how you did and what items you might have missed. What it will not tell you is where the pass is if you couldn't find it. Yeah, you tend to find as you're playing these sometimes there are locations you may not have realized where the pass could be. So, yeah, it looks like Raptor here is getting his Excal.
He'll also get access to the elixirs that are available in this shop as a result.
Yeah.
Both very good things.
Okay, so like you say, Rivers will probably not bother. Yeah, he knows he's already got Yang, so he doesn't need to go and get that character. He was hoping for someone better, so he's just ditching. He's like, nope, I'm not completing that. I'm going to save time. And Dalton Miss, we explained a little earlier, is the Z flag, which randomizes the sprite for Zeromus once you've used the crystal, which is fabulous. It doesn't change anything else, literally just the sprite, but it brings a lot of fun to the seed, especially since there are just so many different options you can get.
Absolutely. That's the first time I think anyone's Daltimus. It's the first time I've seen it, and I've seen quite a few of these.
Yeah, there seem to always be extra ones. It seems like someone must have known, as a Z-Man called it. So either that was a really lucky guess, or they have encountered that sprite before.
So I'm gonna guess that the hook was there. It is just coming up on Penguin's side.
Oh yeah, look, yeah, the hook was in Baron. So oh yeah, so I was gonna say he had to have the hook. I'm seeing Rivers. It's like he must have gotten the hook there because he did that.
Yeah, Rivers, that was the item that replaces where you would get the Enterprise in vanilla.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and got the Earth Crystal, so he can go to Tower of Zot.
And Raptor is going to be super pumped that he will be able to buy 27 elixirs.
And or he can run out and dupe some more weapons to get more money. The spoon is actually a throwable item for Edge, and it will do 9999 damage, but you only have one, so it tends to be more useless than not, but occasionally it can be useful. If you have Edge and didn't find particularly great throwing items, but yeah, generally speaking, it's not super great. But still a key item.
So we do have Rivers still looking for more items. Just I think he's going to be going for a 17 of 17 run here for the fame. Because I'm pretty sure he has to realize now he's probably got way more than he. Yes, you did, Ryu. It was a blistering seed. It was faster. I think Niram finished first in the weekly on Monday, and it was an hour 35, and this was an hour 22.
Yeah, and again, I want to stress these are not easy easy flags. It just the seed was particularly giving things both on the overworld and early on in easily accessible areas, or relatively easy ones.
Yeah.
I'm sure you will be able to catch the VOD of this particular race. There is talk about maybe running an easier seed one after this, as it seems to be going quickly, but that is purely up to the runners, and 2 of them are still racing, so we cannot ask. So we will find out in a little bit. So if the week 1 flags were they had J items, making the seed much easier. So it would go quite quickly if they did do that. But again, that's runner and racer availability. So we do have Raptor is doing his leveling up on the moon, getting 1 or 2 easier fights to start, and then he can start his walk through. And if he gets his levels high enough during the walk, if that is indeed what he's doing, he can choose to exit out, leave the moon, go to Toroya, and still use the pass if he so wishes, depending on where he is when he decides his levels are okay.
Yep, it's with this randomizer, it's completely open. That's what a lot of people like about it, is that he can do things however he likes. And we all used to, I'm sure, growing up with this game, we all used to play this a certain way, and it's good that this rando allows you to play it the way you want to play it.
Yeah, absolutely. And just with the flag availability as well, and versatility, which is also constantly growing as the randomizer develops, it's really easy to get the kind of seed that suits you. Whether that's easier, shorter, longer, harder, any of that, you can get the right seed for your ability and enjoyment.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's It's a great rando. If you love Final Fantasy IV, I recommend you try it at least once.
One of the things I've always loved about picking up a game in Randomizer is, I'd like to say it this way, you'll never know how much you don't know about a game until you play it in Randomizer.
Yeah, that is so correct.
Yeah, because there are places we don't even, like Silvera, I almost had forgotten that it was there.
Yeah, and I do find also running the randomizer really helps me personally learning the core game, as I know I was not so familiar with the layout of the moon before I started running randomizer, and now I have the maps memorized. So it is definitely very helpful.
As you can see, River's fighting Dark Knight Cecil, but Dark Knight Cecil is still scripted to die as long as you don't fight, but still hits tough. Tella taking another nap, so you know.
Tella's best when he's taking naps.
This is very true.
Yeah.
I don't think we really mentioned the stats that come up at the end credits, and those are always hype.
It's very
River
true.
has found Edge with Excalibur. That might actually be a pickup.
That would be excellent because he can use the item duplication glitch in order to duplicate the sword, so long as he still has Cecil to dupe that sword, and maybe he's already duped it in hopes that he would find Edge.
So
but
really
we'll see.
lucky to
and
pick
Rydia.
up Edge here.
Yeah, I would honestly definitely ditch Tella at least. I'd probably ditch Yang for Edge and Tella for Rydia personally, but let's see what Rivers chooses to do. We're gonna see the glitched out. Oh no, it worked fine this time. Nope, doesn't want Rydia, but definitely wants Edge because Edge is fabulous.
Yeah.
Oh wait, he didn't have Yang. He already got rid of Yang. Or was Yang below?
I think he already
He
got rid of
dismissed
him.
Rydia.
No, I know he dismissed Rydia.
But he did have Yang at one point, but he must have got rid of him.
No, he's got the twins, and yeah, he's already got the twins, so he doesn't need Rydia.
So yeah, I would say at this point, Rivers is probably happy with his party setup at this point.
Absolutely, and it's interesting though finding Mom Bomb in the Valvalis spot. That because this is a much later time, so usually you have to do 800 damage to Mom Bomb to trigger the next phase. But obviously that damage gate's going to be quite different with the phased up stats. So it's probably better just to kind of keep doing damage until Mom Bomb is ready to transform. Which there she is. Okay, so waiting here. Yeah, I was gonna say, you go ahead.
So we do see Mom Bomb explode here, and this wow, Kane taking a nap. So as you can see, depending on where the boss is, Mom Bomb is a fairly hard boss in the speed run, but at this point, although Kane did die, wasn't nearly as tough as I thought it was going to be.
When you have Quake, many things become much easier. Quake really is an absolutely amazing spell. It can't be or walled. Floating enemies are immune, but less enemies than floating, even if they kind of look like they're floating. Like those bombs you would think would be floating, but they're not. And very few things have any sort of immunity or protection against it.
And Asura, you would think, would be immune to it, but no, you can do Wall and Quake against her.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the pan was available for completing Tower of Zod.
How exciting! Now you get to go hit Yang.
That's always fun. So yeah, the pan kind of gives you double item availability unless the seed really hates you. So what the pan does is usually you would go down into the Sylvan Cave, find Yang, talk to Yang, find out he's asleep. Talk to Yang's wife, she would give you the pan, then you would go use the pan on Yang and then go back to Yang's wife and give it back and get an item. What happens, so that same order of events happens, but often, unless the seed hates you, you can check for Yang and use the pan at the same time. So when you go back to return it, you can get 2 key items from Yang's wife, the one for finding Yang and the one for returning the pan. So that can be very helpful if you have a chance to do that.
Sometimes trolls me for waiting for the pan when I needed to go there all along.
Yeah, absolutely.
Here's that tucked away item shop that I like to call one of the 3 easiest ones to forget when you're looking for the pass.
Oh yeah. The lady in the vanilla pass shop is one of them. I actually didn't know until a couple of weeks ago that they were a pass location you could look for.
Yeah, that's my number 1, and then Hummingway's Cave is my other top 3.
Nice. Yeah, I don't often forget that one, especially I had an early seed where the pass was on the moon, so since then I have not forgotten it.
Only takes that once.
Yeah, that is accurate. Yeah, having Edge is definitely not so much important, but definitely a step up. Both Edge and Fusia, especially early game, are very powerful, and Edge is always quite powerful, especially when you have the ability to duplicate items. And if not, you can generally still get enough money to buy a whole bunch and just throw things. Edge is still just a really great character.
So this is another good time to go ahead and mention that if you like what you see and you want to see more, the website for the Free Enterprise Randomizer is ff4-free-enterprise.com. There is a link to the Discord on there as well. Great way to get started. And we have located Fusoya.
Which is, I would think he's not going to take him, but we'll definitely be curious to see what happens.
Already at level 50, though. And we'll have full spells.
But is slow, and he needs to level up anyways. So if he has to level up anyways, you're almost better taking the twins. But that's my thought. Rivers definitely is better at knowing. He wrote the guide, so I would trust his judgment on whatever he does select. But I'll definitely be curious. Yeah, getting rid of Palom. Excellent.
With the slow, I even wonder if he would consider making the swap for Cecil.
Yeah, he's got the cursed ring though, so he's probably choosing to keep Cecil.
Yeah, I would say. But he wants Fusoya's versatility with spells. I know, Penguinator, so Rivers picked up Edge, and it's all Dan's game from there.
Yeah, I think River has actually made the intentional choice to kind of make this show off everything run.
I think so. That kind of is what I am seeing here. Raptor is doing some more leveling up, so getting some really great levels there. So he's just chosen, it looks like, to hang out near the beginning of the moon to get some levels. And once he gets a little higher, he might warp out rather than walking all the way through. And then he will head there with the pass, but you can see his HP and spells are climbing, so his grind is definitely going well.
Yep. Maybe he did want weak Penguin. Maybe.
Yeah, that is also true, in order to get the grind.
Yep. And definitely, there's no, obviously, there, as we've seen, faster ways to grind, but again, it's all what you're comfortable with,
and it's just a lot of because it depends on which characters you have or choose to keep as well, because you might it's generally better to get rid of Tella at any opportunity, but again, you're giving away your weak ability, so yeah, there's a bit of a give or take in some of the strategy there.
Question in chat: what's the worst random party member to get?
Not Edge. Edge is not the worst.
Yeah.
Please, Penguinator.
Stop trolling. Edward. Some might say Dark Cecil.
Yeah. Dark Knight Cecil. Dark Knight Cecil is bar none the worst character. However, getting him up to Paladin can make him moderately useful, but you have speed issues that way. But they can be mitigated for sure. Edward is awful. I like Rydia, but I'm sure there are reasons why she's actually garbage. I know Palom is better than her, I believe. He gets his spells much sooner than she does.
But Rydia can cast Bahamut.
But if you have a shortage of
find it.
summons, like we have
Yeah.
not seen Bahamut in this run because it's not for sale. So that limits Rydia a little bit when you don't have access to those summons.
Yeah,
Yes.
and Penguinator's right. Her HP is really low. It's another reason why you'd want Rosa over Porum, because Rosa gets a lot more HP. So it's survivability once you get to that final boss of Zeromus.
Yes.
Checking some stats here. So
Gonna
getting
put some cat claws on Edge, speed him up a little bit, make life good. I think he's just setting up or whatever it is Rivers is about to do. Yes, you do have to grind Rydia a lot of levels to survive Big Bang.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, plus you have the party that Rivers has now is very close to the vanilla party. He just has Kane instead of actually, yeah, he's got Kane, I think, instead. Usually you would not have Kane?
Rydia.
You would have Rosa and Rydia.
Okay,
Or
that's
Rosa
what
and
I thought.
Rydia, I should say.
I knew you didn't have Kane, but I was temporarily blanking. I knew you had both Cecil, Edge, and Fusuya in the vanilla, so that will definitely help with this. Sid is also pretty terrible. Again, he's kind of mid-range. He's definitely not as bad as Edward. He hits hard and has a lot of HP, so a lot of his HP really helps for Sid.
Sid can also do a lot of the high-end defensive gear.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, you might want to give her adamant armor. Just don't take it away, because recently there was found to be a glitch where if you remove the adamant armor, your character becomes weak to fire, lit, and something else.
You just become really squishy and it does not go away.
No, so just in case anybody who might be playing this game and you get an admin armor and you go, sweet, I'll just swap it around to whoever needs it the most. Definitely something you want to be careful about. And it looks like Rivers is going to get into the grind fight as he's walking aimlessly back and forth here. Yeah, like MTI said, characters with no endgame equipment. So we do see that Rivers has picked up probably the fight he's looking for with the two beamers and the searcher. Once he kills them, even if it's not a D machine, I would expect he wouldn't run, but you never know.
Well, do not adjust your Twitch viewing devices, but we're going to have a little bit of a layout change here in a moment. We're going to switch to the two-runner layout so that it's a little easier to see the screens of our two runners continuing on.
Whoosh,
that.
like magic.
Gotta love it. So shiny.
And it is
also a good time to say thank you to Death Star, who is our restreamer tonight and has done a great job with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, great job, Death Star.
What allowed the other two to finish much faster is simply strategy in this case. A lot of the runners got much of the items earlier on, but the way they're choosing to go about it is different. Rivers chose to get more key items to get more experience, and now is doing the grind fight for levels. Velociraptor took a little longer to find some of the items and then went to the moon in order to get experience. So that is a much slower way to level up. The grind fight will be much faster, especially with double experience.
But we do see Raptor might be in go mode momentarily
Yeah.
with 53. I would say, yep. I would say low 50s, your probability of success is good. It's not 100%, but you're trailing on the happy side of 50-50. So
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, he's good to go, but because of the method with which Rivers is leveling up, using the Vitality glitch in order to get 2 or 3 D machines for the price of 1, and with the double XP, he is going to level up very quickly. So it's really going to come down to Zeromus fight execution, I believe.
yeah, I would anticipate Rivers doing no more than 15 here.
Yeah. So that will be 3D machines in that case.
Yep.
So that will get, he already has some not awful levels, so that will get him easily into the 50s for everybody because, as mentioned earlier, the experience is not split in this randomizer. So rather than the experience from a battle being split 5 ways, every person gets it without splitting it the 5 ways. So you get a lot more experience, and with the 10 plus key items in this particular seed because of the flags, you get double experience. So yes, this is going to be very nice.
And we do see
Excaliburs is nice too.
Yeah, 33 levels for Edge. Goodness.
19. Only 19.
Oh, we got up to white though for Porum, so that is the spell we wanted. So we're up to level 60 for Edge, so we are pretty good to go. Putting the cursed ring back on to make sure things are good there, and it's going to be super close between Raptor and Rivers for sure.
Yeah, it is. It will come down to execution. Raptor is in the lead, but miss time Big Bang, miss time Menu, and Rivers could easily catch back up.
Yeah, just a simple reset, or again, the strategies. Rivers is very good at strategies and the Zeromus fight and such, so he knows exactly what gear to put on to make this optimal, so which is exactly what he's doing there now. It's definitely going to be a very interesting fight, just tossing some items so he can do his last little bit of equipping.
Let's also not overlook the fact he has a level 60 Edge here.
Oh yeah, which is madness. Beautiful madness, but madness.
Absolutely.
Okay, time for the Arrow Dalton Imperial time 3. Take 3.
Boom.
So pretty.
So
Dalton,
I don't know if he
welcome
starts
back.
dropping the iron orbs. This could be an entirely different fight.
Oh, yeah, that would be amazing. Thankfully for all runners involved, everything else with Zeromus does not change, just his sprite. But it looks fabulous. Wow, look at that nuke damage.
Shout out to Board Face. It working great. And it working as it should.
I will note you did cut out after you said shoutouts to Boardface.
Oops.
Discord being Discord.
Oh
Yep.
yeah. Discord loves me. We go way back.
Yeah. Mother Brain Zeromus, I've not seen that one, but there's so many. The list of the sprites has purposely not been released, and I think that's amazing. I think it should never be released. And I think in every update, Boardface should add like just another 1 or 2, so suddenly people can be like, what? This probably
Always
is
keep
doing
us
that.
guessing.
Yeah, always keep us guessing. It's beautiful.
Yes. So for everything looking to be going well for Raptor, no surprises at this point. It's not to say that nothing can't happen, but he's in the driver's seat at this point.
Absolutely. So still, it looks like all of the runners will be finished sub 2 hours, which, considering this was given a 3 hour and 15-minute estimate, is fabulous.
Yes.
And we would have not batted an eye at this being 2.5 hours plus under these.
Oh,
this
yeah.
flag set. It's just the way this one went, and they executed at such a high level.
Yeah. Yeah, both the high execution level and just the seed being relatively generous. Yes, if you, I think I saw the command. Let's see if I get it. Oh, I got it. So I just linked it there in the chat.
So fast, Natara, I couldn't
That's me.
type it.
Gotta be
Ryu,
fast.
is Atma weapon available? It is.
That would be amazing. was gonna say you need to get the curse ring for me to slow me down.
For sure.
Heading there. Let's see. I love the fact that the top characters are literally standing on the epoch. That's amazing.
Well, that is where you fought Dalton Plus.
Oh,
Standing
Ryu,
on the epoch fight.
Atma weapon is available. I might be cutting out again. I love Discord.
Discord is best. Yeah, I haven't seen Atma weapon, but that doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah,
So
I
many-
saw it. I forget who I was watching. Might have been Kata actually. But I have
Okay.
seen Atma weapon in there.
Nice. So we have our last runner, Rivers, making it to Zeromus. So again, depending on strategy, this is still really close. Be interesting to see what happens.
I haven't seen the Mana Beast from Secret of Mana Ryu, but it could be in there. Again, the list is unpublished.
So it's just a matter of having seen it or being told. Like, oh, I saw, and
Yeah.
have it there.
Like, or just play through all the seeds. Just start at 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, and just work your way up.
Legit.
And that'll only work until the next time board quietly does an update without telling you, and then you won't know anymore.
Exactly.
Accurate. Oh yeah, Raptor is nicely in the read. Yeah, the restream is actually what?
Yeah, I think Daltimus is just too powerful for frames.
But a taste of his true power.
But a taste.
Okay, it looks like the okay, it looks like the stream is having some issues. We're seeing it fine because of the mixer, but interesting.
Natar will do her tech magic.
I'm not tech magicking anything. Doesn't matter. I'm just happy I have the Zeromus music back. So, we're still going here, so it'll be interesting to see the different strategies and see if Rivers can catch up to Raptor.
Yep,
Those Excaliburs, they'll make up some gap.
they absolutely will. Because pretty much Raptor's just having Cecil and King, not Cecil and King, Cecil and Yang kind of punch at it, whereas Edge is going to throw those Excaliburs and do a silly amount of damage. Like 9685.
Yeah, that's intense.
Yeah.
Though I will note that Raptor's nukes are also doing a lot. But if you don't do enough damage quickly enough to Zeromus, like if you don't kill him by a certain point, you'll hit a damage gate and he will heal. So he'll essentially have double the amount of HP. So again, you want to see him start casting Meteos, because that means he has entered the Meteo phase, meaning he is almost dead. Okay, so he is still doing
nice.
big bangs.
One of the nice things about when you have Fusoya in this fight is he lets you double up on either Black or White magic as you choose, or if you go 3 casters, then you've got it all covered.
Yeah. Also, the refill happens discreetly, so you never know.
Yeah, you just know that this fight is taking longer than perhaps it should. Oh, Rivers is to the Meteo phase. So that means he has gone a little faster than Raptor. The Raptor is also a Meteor phase. That's going to be...
This is going to be very tight.
Actually, Rivers is done. So he's finished with an official SRL time of 1:50:50.
GG to Rivers McCallum.
Yeah, absolutely.
No casters up for Velociraptor, so it has to just melee this down.
Which at Meteo phase won't take too long, because as you see, Meteo is usually just attacking one person and doing very little damage. So we very rarely worry too much. When you're in Meteo phase, barring any unforeseen circumstances, you're home free.
Yeah. And that's just the difference of having Edge and Excaliburs in this fight. And Raptor is done. with a time of 1:50-1:40, so not even a minute behind.
Okay, so we're just checking out to see what people are interested in doing. Yes, that was level 60 edge. I'm not sure level 60 edge so much did the damage, though that certainly didn't hurt. The Excals, tossing those Excaliburs as well, definitely beautiful. So it just goes to show sometimes your party makeup really makes a huge difference.
Absolutely. Usually, when you throw the Excaliburs, usually they don't do 9,600.
No, they most certainly do
No.
not.
They're
They do a lot,
usually
but perhaps not that much.
like about 7,000, I think, or so. So level 60 might have been the difference. Tough to say.
I'm curious how many of the key items Rivers did get.
We'll find out momentarily.
Yes, we will. He definitely got a lot of them.
He did. I think he got maybe 15.
Yeah, he got definitely 10 blows.
Yes. And again, just an amazing time considering the flags.
Yeah, those flags are not nice at all. Balancing things a lot, making some of those early fights hard. Really close knits, 14 out of 17.
That was close. 10 out of 13 characters. 110 treasures. I think Penguin, just for example purposes, I think he only picked up like 30 or so.
Yeah, you can manipulate that a little bit. You can target which chests you're going to open, knowing that the later ones are biased a little bit, and go for dungeons with the trapped treasure chests, knowing they'll have better equipment. Or sometimes you just get lucky and find the good stuff early, and you don't have to worry about it.
Yep.
Okay, so we're just getting things set up. We are going to get some of the racers back, at very least Nearman Rivers and maybe Raptor as well, in order to do an easier set of flags, which should be completable in about an hour. So we'll definitely see what happens there. Now this is a very different set of seeds, different flags. Yeah, so it looks like it's yeah, it's just going to be a 2A race this time, which is fine. Okay, so because we're going to have J items, which totally change up the game. Everything is going to be very different here. So to just note for the people in chat, here are your flags for this race. Again, you can go to the website, which I'm also linking in the current command, and bring up the website and plug in those flags into the custom seed flag, and it will allow you to see what all the different letters mean. But basically, it is much easier. J items, or the J flag, will open up both J items and J abilities. J abilities are not so important, though there are some neat things there, but J items totally change this game. And you're going to see that there are HP and MP increasing items. There are items that do damage based on your max HP. Yeah, there's definitely some magic going on there. I think this one also has no encounters and free shops. So
the encounters can be toggled. So
Okay.
probably one of the first things you'll see is them toggle it off until, say, for example, they get to the moon, or if they're going to do the sealed cave, they'll turn it on so that they can fight the doors.
yeah, absolutely.
Capamus, that would be an interesting sprite to see.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, I would anticipate if it's going to be Nearman Rivers that it will go very quickly.
And yeah, the J items doesn't totally nullify the party composition, but it does a lot. For the most part, you're absolutely right, Jeb, it does, because being able to increase the HP manually, if you can find those the apples, the gold or silver apples, and then getting the items which use your HP to do damage, definitely, it just breaks it. Literally breaks it. It's amazing. So looks like Yang is our starting character for the seed. Going to be very interesting.
That is no bueno.
Yeah, we don't like Yang so much, but again, it's if they keep the encounters toggled off, what's difficult about this seed is getting the initial experience, because you can't just random encounter to do it. So your starting characters, at least, are rather important.
Could be Yang and Edge together.
Yeah, that would be fabulous. It could also be Yang and Edward, and then good luck.
And they're going to be starting shortly.
Yeah. Okay, as we speak.
This is also a glitchless run, by the way, so they will not be duplicating items. So you still will probably see something like Excalibur for sale, because the shop items will be much better.
Yes,
than
they're
what we
not
saw
balanced.
previously.
They're not balanced whatsoever in this seed at all. So again, you can find Excals, and everything is free in this seed. So you just buy stacks of 99 Excals for $0. So it's definitely a very different seed than what we just saw.
Penguin,
so if you're somebody
please.
who is
Yang,
just seeing.
Nice.
Yang is not the second best character.
Yeah, he's a decent starter though, and getting Kane. I did not see the key item for Rivers. I don't see Nirm doing anything at all on my side. What?
Nirm giving Rivers a nice head start, apparently.
Yeah. Well, he did ready, so
Yeah. Maybe we're just...
it could just be his things not coming through. His stream. He may have started and we just don't see it.
To answer chat, the free lunch, it is a free lunch seed, so you're able to
Yes.
get items and characters easier.
Yep. So we're definitely gonna check that out. What do we got? Kane and Yang. See, and you're gonna see there's like summons there. So if you get Rydia early, it's always nice to find like Ashura and Leviathan in the shop and have Rydia early, because then you're just murdering things with summons from a tiny child. It's pretty great. Oh, it's Magma Key start. Okay, cool. See, this is why chat is best. You guys have our back. Yeah, and that's exactly where Nirm went. He dropped right into, dropped the Magma Key in, getting immediate access to the underground. Rivers, on the other hand, wants those free characters. So we got Kane, who we already had, but we also did pick up Rydia. So those summons we saw in the shop could be very useful.
Penguinator, it's very easy to name a million characters better than Yang. Edge, and Fusoya, and Kane, of course.
Look, there's Bahamut. You also see fire bombs. So fire bombs, you know how I mentioned there are items that are better if you have, they're based on your HP? Well, fire bombs are one such item. So, and we also have Leviathan and Bahamut. So our little Rydia, level 1 Rydia, just became a murder bot. We just need to underflow her MP or wait for her to get literally any levels, and we really don't have to worry about things for a while.
So you can definitely see the progression on this seed, just completely different concept.
Yeah,
you're
what
gonna
you
make
want,
completely different routing choices.
yeah, you're looking to, when you have this, you want to go and check every shop as soon as possible, because not only do you want to find the pass, you want to find the apples to increase your HP. If you want, you can also look for the Soma drops, which do your MP, but if you find like the fire bombs, you really only need, for the most part, the apples. And yeah, you're looking for those firebomb, blizzard, or I think lit bolt is the other item. Yeah, again, you do still need both the crystal and either the pass or the dark crystal to get to the moon. That doesn't change no matter what your flags are, but yeah, it definitely plays very differently here.
And Nirm picking up the glass helmet is the best in the game. So easy peasy.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick up that stack of crystal swords in case we do get edge, as we will be able to toss those. Also picking up a stack of exits because nothing saves time more than not walking. Huge fan of not walking. Interesting, Rivers did not trigger a magma key, even though he has it.
Also, the Excalibur does very impressive damage if you're able to fight undead. So if you go in, find Mylon, and you've got Cecil equipped with Crystal, it is a sight that will just warm your heart.
Absolutely. So both runners making sure to pick up a stack of curse rings. Also, they're always picking up 99 when they're doing things because why not? It's free. 99 is better than 1. I think that's pretty clear. So yeah, it's pretty fabulous. So equipping items, getting as powerful as they can so they can start beating up bosses.
And as you see there, Rivers just doesn't want to walk, so I'll cast Exit because I can.
Yeah, Nirm goes into the watery pass for a free character, sees it's Sid, and turns right back around. Does not even need, because Sid is generally just not a good character at all. So he is definitely hunting for the better characters. He will take nothing but the best.
Yeah, at this point, they can be picky.
Yeah.
Based on the seeds, so you're not going to waste time.
No. River's picking up a stack of life potions. Those are definitely going to be helpful, mostly for survivability at this point. But yes.
In terms of what gear they can find under these flags, the highlights are adamant armor can be for sale. Also, ribbons can be for sale.
Yeah, it's always beautiful when you can find the adamant armor, because you're just like, oh, hello, I am near invincible. It's just super great. So you can just buy a stack of 99 as well.
Not guaranteed under these flags, however, that it will be.
No.
Just that it is possible.
Yes.
It appears it's Dark Cecil taking a nap in Rose's bed, so
we're going to leave him there most likely.
Rivers quickly doing an about face and probably going, I don't need the sand ruby, so looking to skip that. And he's going to go and find the sadness that is Sid.
Yep, which Nirm has already noped, so Nirm is hoping he's gonna, Rivers is not gonna nope Sid. Nirm wants the free character in Damsian, who is the Yang we already have, Sadness. But he does get the hovercraft, so that's something for eventually once he gets the hook.
Yeah.
Who doesn't want a hovercraft? I want a hovercraft.
No.
I do too. That was Cecil and Kaipo Ryu, so...
Yeah, in Gil, it depends on what flags you're running. In Glitchless, where you don't have encounters turned off and don't make the shops free, Gil is very important. You kind of have to save your money. But in this case, you do not particularly need it. Well, you don't need it at all. Things are free. You do need it for the inns, actually. So when you fight bosses, you will get some money, and you can use them for inns. Not that you tend to need them.
There's only going to be one shop that sells cabins, so that's not always available.
Nirm getting a stack of Avengers. Very nice. When equipped on whomever, but I think Kane is... I know Kane can use them. Oh, there's the pass as well. Nice. The Avenger will automatically have Berserk on. So that's nice.
So as you can see, into this seeds 7 minutes, and they already have the pass.
Yep.
So
they can get to Zeromus. They can't kill Zeromus currently, but they do have they do have access. So gonna go get their free item from Bedward, who's chilling in Toria. Another one of the free lunches, which is turned off with no free lunch. But this is not no free lunch, so give us our free item.
And again,
Rivers, he has to recover.
Rivers casting Exit because who needs to walk?
Walking slow. He is actually saving quite a bit of time by exiting everywhere.
Yep.
Now is the tail available, by the way, so it can be turned in for another item.
It can, once you get the hook.
And you can definitely actually see the difference in Exit, because now Nirm just left Trail walking, Rivers cast Exit, and he's already on his way.
Yeah, definitely quite different. Choosing different pathing here, Nirm is going to go fight first boss for him is going to be Antlion, or whoever's in the Antlion spot, while Rivers is choosing to at least check out the Fabool for gear. Whether he chooses to do the Fabool Gauntlet now, we'll find out shortly. Oh, let's see who Nirm is fighting. Looks like one of the moon enemies. It's Wyvern.
Oh,
Moonveil is great though.
Yes.
Because it gives you wall, which does protect you from Mega Nuke, which is about to happen. So that is, or from Nuke. Oh, right, because this seed has W, isn't it? It's Wyvern. So thankfully, the seed has Wyvern on, which means Wyvern will not open up doing Mega Nuke. It will still nuke you and do lots of nasty things.
Like there.
And
we do see Rivers was able to get some apples in.
Got the gold apples.
Yeah.
So it means, yeah.
That's why you put a premium on checking the shops when you got your J items set aside.
And Nirm didn't save.
Wow.
Oh no, that is very bad. So yeah, he'll have to do it again. Like sometimes when you have these kind of easy flags, you forget that you can still find murderous enemies and bosses. So you can kind of forget to save. If I remember correctly, Rivers has also not saved.
Yes.
So
not since doing the apples, I don't think.
No, well,
No.
at least he has saved, if that's the case. But yeah, so the apples are really going to help. He's just looking for the crystal now, and I guess another character. Because once he has that, he is going to hop on and go to the moon and fight Zeromus and toss all of those items at him, doing 5,000 apiece. And it's going to be easy peasy. However, Nirm is going to go a little faster this time, just kind of knowing where to look for things. But yes, and so this is why we're doing this seed second, because it is so easy with those apples and getting like the lit bolts and the fire bombs and the blizzards. They're just completely overpowered. Yeah, so these are the quick, easy seeds, especially since, money is turned off. Everything is free as well.
For a little bit of context, these were the first week flags we did for the weeklies. We've only done 2 so far, so you can still get in early on the ground floor of this by joining us at the randomizer link, which we'll get up in chat in just a minute. But this was done to be very friendly to people who were new to running this randomizer and not familiar with the speedrun strats of the game. So if you see this and you want to try it out and you just want to get your feet wet, this is a good set of flags to give you more experience with the game.
And just in case you weren't powered enough, Rivers' reward was adamant, so that's always fun.
It's unfortunately not super helpful because the adamant is not the adamant armor. It is literally a chunk of adamant, which is used if you also have the legend sword in order to turn it into the Excalibur. However, this is a glitchless seed, so it's not super helpful. Plus you have to have the actual legend sword to make it work. The only bonus is it is another key item, because the double experience does still work, I believe, in this set of flags. So not that you particularly need it, as you're not going to be needing levels as such, but it doesn't hurt.
Yeah, they'll have no problem taking on Zeromus in the 30s.
Yeah, so now we
if
have...
you're too low level, the speed will still matter, but...
Yeah, and Rivers is now going to fight his own Wyvern, but where he has 9999 HP with Kane, and he can toss fire bombs, doing extraordinary amounts of damage. Goodbye, Wyvern. We don't miss you at all.
And that's part of why River went ahead and did that on the one character, despite the fact that obviously Kane will get a lot of hit points along the way, but by maxing it out early, he's able to do the fire bombs for all these bosses, which will just one-shot the early ones.
Absolutely. And now he kind of has a free path into 2 key items by getting the pan. He has access to the underground, as they started with the magma key. And the pan, if you go down and find Yang in the Sylph Cave, you can get 2 key items, because you get one for finding Yang, and you get one for returning the pan after waking Yang. So that could be good. It looks like he's choosing to do mount ordeals instead. There is a free character there, along with a key item after 3 bosses. So that is some decent experience as well.
And Rivers did save, so
Yeah.
definitely good on him for remembering that.
Yeah, no, key items are still important because they are still looking for the crystal. Interesting. It'll because he has a free spot in his party, he does not get a choice. He is getting Edward.
He must be really excited about
the meat shield.
Yeah, Edward the Meat Shield. That is definitely things we think about him. Okay, let's see who we have instead of Mylon. Yang.
Yang versus Yang.
Love it.
Although Rivers is such a contrarian, sometimes it wouldn't surprise me if he does the apples on Edward just to use them at the end party to trigger everybody.
Yeah, really. So Nirm did find his own gold apples and is also pumping up Kane. So Wyvern is not going to stand a chance either. Oh, he's pumping up more than just Kane. He's going to make sure all of his party, or at least multiple of his party, have things. And he did get the Zeus's Rage. So I guess I thought Lip Bolt was the item, but I guess it is Zeus's Rage.
Look at this randomization. Mylon Z and
Vanilla.
Not random enough. I have to redo the seed.
Yeah, confirm vanilla. I was gonna say I should check off the pen. So I'm definitely, it's going to be curious to see what happens because this is not, Nirm is not out. He has found the key items of the apples, and if the Zeus's Rage is actually the HP attacking item, then he is going to be able to do tons of damage. And so he's just looking for the crystal as well. So if he just happens to check things a little differently than Rivers and finds it before Rivers does, he still could be back on task and with Rivers.
Nirm is going to have to backtrack and find the pass again.
Oh, yes.
Hopefully he remembers where it is.
Yeah, really. So let's see who our last boss is here. Along with what key item we're getting for Rivers, the spoon. Again, sadly, it is a key item, so it counts for your key item count, but it does not actually help with anything. It can just be thrown by Edge for 9999. That's it. Only once. So the item is Lit Bolt. That is exactly what I thought. So I'm not quite sure what Zeus's Rage does, but Nirm has 99
damage,
of them.
But it'll be same effect. For early game, it'll probably do reasonable damage.
Yeah, so he probably has it for that reason, to help with the early game damage. And yeah, I think though they have the other item in with the passer somewhere else. He'll find them. So he doesn't need to heal. He's fine.
Back in Doria's, so you could just go there, final spot.
For sure. And yeah, when doing the Fabul Gauntlet, you get a free heal before going in there. So he didn't need to heal. He got his heal. So Rivers is heading back down. If he does happen to find Cecil or Tella, they will be Paladin and spells respectively. But honestly, he was here for the key item. He does not care about those characters.
This, by the way, is Fasoya Challenge 2. So in the last seed, anytime you got Fasoya, he was going to have a full spell list after you did Mount Ordeals. Under this flag set, he gets his spells progressively as you defeat more bosses.
Yep, and more HP. He only starts off with 500 HP, and he gets 100 HP bonus for every boss defeated. Plus, he gains 3 spells. He starts with 6 and gains 3 for every boss. So it kind of nerfs Fusia a bit. And by a bit, I mean a lot, making him not quite so OP.
Yeah, so we have changed just about everything between these two seeds that we could.
Yeah, absolutely. Just to show you that there are definitely beginner seeds. You don't have to use the more balanced, more difficult seeds like the first one. You can go as difficult or as easy as is your comfort. There's a type of seed which we have lovingly called the Kata seeds, named after their creator, Catastrophic, who likes to make the hardest seeds absolutely possible in the flag sets and running those. They tend to be 5+ hours and ridiculously hard, but some people really like those. And Rivers is now taking out the Mega Sisters.
Firebomb will do quite a nice job for that. Also, it's the guard slot, so low HP, but the Firebomb is gonna make easy work of almost anything early. Even Bahamut.
And then Bahamut won't be too bad. I've seen him in this spot before, so.
Yeah, absolutely. And Demist is here for Nirm, but as this is not no free lunch, you do not get a key item just for fighting the Mist Dragon. Because you get the free item from there's the Legend Sword. That's interesting.
You can get Excaliburs now.
You could get Excaliburs now if he so wishes. But yeah, you get the free item from Edward, so you don't need another item stashed somewhere else.
Just kind of to set up where we are at this point, we know where the pass is. It is not quite vanilla, but close to it.
Yes.
And we are on the hunt for the crystal.
So, and for those just joining us, unfortunately, Nirm did take a death after having not saved, but he is catching up admirably, actually. So, and did have the pass before dying, so he knows where it is again this time, so does not have to search for it. And Nirm is a fabulous runner of this as well, so is Rivers, so I have no doubt that he will catch up. And again, we're kind of down to who finds Crystal first. And depending on their paths, that is the deciding factor here. They both have their apples, and they both have their item, I believe. Their attacking item. I'm not sure if Nirm does, but he definitely
Nirm has a step down one. He doesn't have one.
Okay, he doesn't have that. Okay, good. Well, hopefully he will pick that up. But now he is back for a rematch with Wyvern.
And it looks as though Rivers is going to go underground.
He's doing what I do all the time, which is land on the mountains.
Yeah.
I don't know why it won't let me. Mountains are perfectly land-onable. Wait.
Piloting is tough. And he is going to turn in the Legend Sword and get freebie Excaliburs.
Yep, and it does also give you access to another shop. Not needed for the pass, but you can get, as we saw in the previous seed, you can get some nice loot. So definitely to help. And Nirm getting revenge for his previous death.
Making short work of Wyvern, and not the greatest weapon shop, unfortunately.
Good time to do a reminder that this is a glitchless seed, so they cannot duplicate the Excalibur in this one.
They cannot, so it's just there to make Cecil better. Wait, they didn't take Cecil.
They've got Crystal Sword anyways, it was for sale.
Ah,
Yeah.
So then it was just to make sure to check the shop.
Yeah.
Which had nothing fabulous.
And you could still throw an Excalibur.
Yeah.
Yep.
You absolutely can if you get edge. So
It looks as though he's going to take Sid with him. Interesting strategy.
yeah, no, and you know what? He's got enough apples. He bought many stacks. It's not a bad strategy, anyways. Because Sid can have a later game equipment, so he can stand some of the hits.
Yeah, and having 9,999 he doesn't hurt.
Yeah. So to explain the newcomers to this, this randomizer is very different depending on the flags you use. It's very customizable. Bosses and characters tend to be in vanilla locations, but what bosses and what characters are in said vanilla locations tends to change. And you do still need the same key items to get places. Like you need the darkness crystal in order to get the big whale as one way to get to the moon. You need the pan to wake up Yang down in the Sylph Cave. You know, those sort of things don't change. Good. So there's lip bolts for Rivers if he needed them, but he doesn't.
And there were cabins available, but he decided
He doesn't need cabins.
who needs that?
Overrated.
There is actually a value in having two different ones because it is fire-based damage. So if you are up against a monster that actually heals from fire, having the alternate element you can switch to will make a difference. It doesn't come up that much because Zaramos will be affected by fire, so...
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So let's see who this is here.
I'm going water hag.
It is. Yeah, I always
Yeah.
forget. I'm like, I know it's not. Purple cloak is Mylon Z. Okay, yeah, water hag. So I
Tough
think water
boss.
hag is you hit it 3 times. You can't
Yeah.
miss. That miss doesn't count. Wow.
Wow.
I was gonna
There
say
we
what's
go.
with those
Water
misses?
hag's revenge.
Yeah, really.
Hits it for 690, so definitely
Well, again,
no
this
slouch.
is much later in the game, so definitely very mean. So
Edward
near-
doing 14
Yeah.
damage.
No, Edward, what would we do without you? I love that he's being kept in the front row. You're like, please just die.
There will be a character join here, so we'll see if Edward is about to leave.
And we're gonna grow up our Rydia.
I'm sure whoever it is, he'll dismiss Edward. Except if
I'm
it's
not.
Edward.
I'm not sure at all.
Well, that's
Uh,
true. Would Rivers be a troll? I don't.
That doesn't sound like Rivers at all. Wait. Oh, look, it's Kainazo. Look at him. He's so cute. Oh, Edge!
For
Oh,
Oh, he's
wow,
definitely
yeah.
getting rid of Edward for that. No, we don't want your equipment, Edward. Please go. And we no longer have Kidia. We now have Rydia. Look at her. So adult. So we are going to, Kainazo is, going to be, I won't say a joke, but, no, it's going to be a joke. Sorry. Why'd I even pretend that was not going to be a joke?
Sorry, because it's Golbez. He's tough.
Yep. So we had a very water-based set of fights here. Having Edge is fantastic. He is one of the best characters, if not the best character to have when doing basically any seed.
Yeah.
So we definitely like having him. And this is glitchless, so we cannot get 2 items for the price of 1 here. If he wants the sealed cave item, he will have to go to the sealed cave. But there are also where they have the higher experience and the attacking items, those doors are also going to be a joke. Yes and no about the events in any order. You start with the airship, so anything you can reach and have the key item for, you can do. It doesn't mean you will survive, but yes, you can. There's other than particular key items.
Rivers
Glitchless.
forgetting it was a glitchless seed, and he warped.
I am
nothing.
surprised it actually warped him there.
I gotta warp you there, it just won't be there. What, Luca key? Is this even random?
Yeah, I was gonna say this is vanilla, guys. We lied to you.
Board face check.
I was gonna
your,
say at the same time, Nirm is fighting Mylon Z on Manor Deals in exactly where Mylon Z would be.
Yeah.
Guys, I don't like it.
Aegis shield for sale here.
Ooh,
Wow.
take that.
Easy
Yeah, that's
peasy.
one of the bonuses about Sid again is that he can equip later game equipment, so that makes him much less squishy.
I know, Ryu. It's terrible. Luca gives Luca key, Mylon Z spot,
Nope, this is cheating. I don't like it. We can't
hacks.
do it, guys. Attacks. Hacks. Okay, so we are gonna go to Sylph Cave because again, that is 2 key items for the price of 1. So good place to go, and especially since we have lots of HP on at least some characters, it is an easy walkthrough. We don't
Especially
care.
with no encounters.
Oh yes, and with no encounters, so we definitely don't care about those damage tiles.
There will still be the monster in a box fights, but
That's
there's
only if he
much
opens
less of a
them.
premium on checking treasure chests under these flags.
Yeah, and honestly, other than beginning game in most seeds, you stop checking the chest anyways, so that's really no difference.
And what are we going to be rewarded with?
Let's find out, because you also get a reward, a crystal
Crystal.
shield.
Easy peasy.
Teasing us, because that's a crystal shield. You do not get a key item from the Sylph there. They just give you a random good item, great item. They give you a random item. Usually it's pretty decently useful, but
Well, it can't be a totally given.
it could though. It's already given us some vanilla. So
Yes.
yeah, gonna go visit Yang Wife, best wife.
Still driving the ship. Tough.
It's difficult, man. It's one of the hardest parts about this game is landing. No joke. That isn't even me being droll. It really is difficult. So let's go see Sheila over in Left Tower and see what 2 key items she has for us. Again, we're getting 1 for finding Yang and 1 for returning the pan, which we use to wake up Yang.
A quick go, by the way, on the airship. One of the quality of life changes that the board face has added was a reverse dash for...
Oh boy.
Oh, we better see that twin harp shown off. Or I'm
Oh,
gonna
I
be
hope so.
disappointed.
That would be amazing.
You can reverse dash the airship, which will slow it down and make it easier to land in a tight space.
Who knew?
I think I vaguely knew and then promptly forgot and then do what Rivers does. And I'm like, landing is hard and just keep failure landing.
It is a new addition. I think that's only been around about a month now.
That's not long. That's a lot.
It's long enough.
Hey, we're going to be playing this randomizer in 20 years because we all love this game, so that's a pretty short
Accurate.
time, all things considered.
Accurate. Okay, so we do have Tower Key. So, no, yeah, we are going to go to the Land of Summon Monsters because we want to get the easy key items out of the way. And especially with no encounters, this is as easy as it gets, really, other than the bit of walking. So we want to head to the Rat Tail chest, see what key item is hanging out in there. We know it's not the Rat Tail because we do have Rat Tails. 1991, I believe, is when Final Fantasy IV was made.
Yeah, I think so. 91.
Yeah.
There's also the shops here, and you'll want to check them out because they may be selling adamant armor.
Mm-hmm. So
Or
Rivers
elixirs.
is, or Soma drops if you
Or
needed
summer
those.
drops. Oh,
Yeah.
did he? No.
He doesn't
just
need
had
them.
No.
And after I learned about the fact that those items are HP based, I wouldn't get Soma drops anymore either. They're a waste. You don't need magic. So
Still useful for
Right,
for Soya and get him up to like 300-400 HP, so he's got all the life 2s you could ask for.
me.
For Cure Force.
But why?
makes
You can just adamant
there we
armors.
go.
Adamant armors
There's
for
the
sale.
mother load. So we just got a lot tougher because again, by not leveling up our folks and just bringing up their HP, it makes our characters much more squishy. There's the Earth Crystal, so we can get the
Holy
Zot now.
This seed is actually, it's giving, but it's being a little trolly at the same time.
And free lunch has nothing to do about whether people would check treasure chests. The balancing of the items would affect that. And honestly, treasure chests, even in a non-balanced seed, are really only effective at the beginning to give you some early loot. Otherwise, it's just not even worth it. You just don't even bother. You're better off just not. It just wastes time checking them. Especially at this point, Rivers is simply running from place to place in order to get key items. And there's no encounters, so he only even needs to cure up before bosses.
Yeah, when we played this week 1, which was a week ago Monday, I think I only did something like 30-40 treasure chests, and that's just because they were easy enough to get to.
Yeah, I think I did like 40, 47, something like that. Yeah, you really just don't need them. In the really tight seeds, sometimes you do it just because maybe you'll find something. Wow, Kanazo. With the Sea Rage. Yeah, and also, if you go to the website for the randomizer, you can get a link to our Discord. So even if you're not up for actually potentially playing yet and just want to kind of learn and hang out with all the randomizer folks, feel free to come in and join the Discord. We do have weekly races. Currently, they're at 9 p.m. Eastern on Mondays. But there are always people getting races on the go of many different seed levels. The weeklies, we vary the flags just to have different practice, different tries, some more difficult than others. So please come check it out.
It's Octo as
Bouncing.
Nothing
bouncing.
quite like seeing Octo dance around.
I love seeing the characters that aren't the default characters bouncing around, like, because they dance around in the Calcabrina spot as well, so that makes me giggle. Oh, yeah, this event definitely shows it off, but there are so many randomizers. I will also be commentating the Mystic Quest race, randomizer race on Saturday morning, so if you want to see a really mean randomizer, come check that one. But yes, I'm currently of the belief, and I haven't had this proven or disproved, that there is a randomizer for most of the popular games in existence.
So as you can see, actually, I was just about to say, Octo was putting up a bit of a fight there.
Yep.
For Octo.
Really represented.
Well, it took 4, so hard to complain there.
But yeah, if you guys like randos, chances are there's a rando out there for you. I also like Link to the Past randomizer personally, but there's a rando for everyone if you're interested, and really thriving communities for many of them, if not most of them. So
And
definitely check it
Randomania
out.
is dedicated to giving all those randomizers a platform where people can show off what it has, and great way to get introduced to new ones that you might not know of. We've already had a few people join the Discord tonight after seeing the race that we've had put on. And thank you to all of our runners who donated their time and were willing to show this off in front of everybody.
Absolutely. And speaking of mean fights, Dark Knight Cecil, thankfully, we have a lot of HP for some of our characters here, because Dark Knight Cecil, when you don't have those items or a lot of HP and you find him later on in the game, is a jerk. He is a real big jerk. He is mean. He does a lot of damage, and he's fast. So, yeah. That is totally fair. So we will get the key item for here upon leaving the tower. So now it is time to leave.
Unfortunately, we'll get out. Exit
I was
won't
going to
work.
say, Rivers' go-to-exit strategy won't work right now.
Yeah, which is sad. Exiting is amazing. Man Ordeals is the same. You cannot warp or exit off of Man Ordeals. It is literally the worst. And honestly, when it comes to the randomizer, the game itself doesn't have to be popular. It just has to have someone interested in the game willing to make a randomizer, honestly. So you will find some of the less popular games do have randomizers, and you are definitely likely to see popular games to have randomizers, but not all of them. So many different things.
Rivers really hoping for the crystal here, I'm sure.
Really.
We're all really hoping.
Yeah, and Nirm is about to get his adamant armors, and considering he has also equipped, given the the apples to his friends. Well, he has another way to the moon now with the darkness crystal, Rivers that is. But yeah, as he has already given the apples to his people, Nirm that is, getting the adamant armors are gonna make him, I won't say near invincible, but actually invincible, but near invincible. Zeromus is basically going to be the only potential threat.
And being pointed out in chat, it is a lot of work to get one of these randomizers on.
Yes,
so
it is.
It's great when you have a developer like Boardface who has done a fantastic job with this so far, and it just always looks like better things are ahead.
Absolutely, and every time we come back with feedback, suggestions, and bug fixes, especially the bug fixes, he fixes very promptly, and is always open to the different suggestions we have. And because the community is getting to be quite large, there are a lot of different really great opinions and debates about new features that can and should be added, and some of them have definitely been implemented to really great effect. So again, if you're interested in this at all, please come join our Discord and join us for a race and some great discussions.
So it looks like River's next decision was Tower of Zot, so we've got 2 boss fights here, 2 characters.
He picked up the Earth Crystal, so he was like, well, let's go turn it in and see what happens. Run into a wall. Yeah, well, you know.
Yeah.
But I've got fire bombs, so, you know. Not going to be that bad. Yep, don't accidentally chuck the Excalibur there, Rivers.
Yeah, you might need that.
You might.
They do have the pass, so they can warp to the final boss anytime. They still must find the crystal, and that is what we are on the hunt for at this point. Boardface saying that, for reference, started working on this in August.
Yeah, Rivers, with the Darkness Crystal, can summon the whale and can get to the moon, but without the crystal, it's a moot point.
Yeah, exactly. So he could go get experience there, and there's an item shop up there, and there is another character on the moon, but there are no more key items on the moon. So I like Kane being tied up there. That's pretty fabulous.
The game giveth and the game taketh away.
Question or comment in chat about Moon having progression. That will depend on your flags. Under these flags, there is no progression items on the Moon. The Lunar boss fights can be shuffled in to the key item mix, but they are not under these flags.
Oh, we get our lovely Dark Elf. That's so nice.
Hmm.
Aww.
No pants boss. Rivers will be happy.
Very happy. Especially if he gives him the crystal that he really enjoys.
Yeah.
Me change.
As you can see, Firebomb's a little bit OP.
Yeah. And again, this is the reason why you're seeing very clearly why the J items are so OP, truly. It's not even just the fire bombs, but it's like the fire bombs plus the apples. Seriously, when you're doing a J seed, first thing you do, go to every item shop and find those apples, find the fire bombs, and then just go looking for your key items. It's a really great beginner seed, or a fast seed if you're just looking to do something quick and easy. J seed anything is easier, but you can definitely up the difficulty with some of the other flags.
For sure.
Now, you can play with the Japanese items on and still not have it be this game-breaking by working with the shop flags, but if you got any questions about the flags, by all means, join us in the Discord to get answers, and there's a link to that on the Free Enterprise website, which is now linked in the chat.
Yeah, and there is also a beginner's guide which has been written by Rivers, which has so much fabulous information. It tells you if you're doing the regular seeds, like without no free lunch, it tells you where you suggestions for where to go to start to get starting characters and key items, and good amounts of treasure, boss strategies, character ratings, item descriptions, especially for J items. It just has so many useful descriptions and things for new folks, and honestly, I still use it. Like, I would not consider myself a newbie in any way to either this randomizer or Final Fantasy IV, and it's just that good of a guide.
So let's point out here, we're about to see what might possibly be the second best flag in the randomizer.
Oh, yes.
Well, actually, it's not a flag, but let's go with the second best feature.
I don't have the sound on, so you guys will have to let me know what I'm missing out on.
The sound is on. Oh yeah, Rivers is heading there
Rivers,
too.
so we're not
Once
quite there
Rivers, once Rivers gets there, we'll let you know.
Perfect.
It will be fabulous, whatever it is.
I'm sure it will be.
So we don't get to hear the music until the twin harp actually starts. But yes, again, this is just one of those, and this is not a flag you turn on or off. If you get the twin harp and you use it, guaranteed. It's so great.
DLC in 2018, folks.
Yeah.
I find it a little interesting that River didn't do apples to Rydia, but I'm guessing that kind of tells you who he's thinking about changing out, depending on who he finds.
I think he knows who for sure he's taking, and he bought lots of apples, so whoever his remaining 3 end up being once he gets his crystal, I'm sure he will absolutely apple them up, but he's kind of hedging his bets at this point.
You could also level them first and then need less apples, because it's easier to gain 15 levels off one fight than it is to do those extra apples. All right, chat, name that tune.
It's Final Fantasy IX. Do. It's You're Not Alone. Final Fantasy IX. Blam.
Final Fantasy what?
9. You Are Not Alone
the
is
series after Tactics.
yeah.
After 6.
Final Fantasy IX is fabulous. You stop. Yeah, it's You Are Not Alone, which is such a good track. One of the best tracks from Final Fantasy IX, and from the series, honestly, but especially from Final Fantasy IX.
So you will get a random song there anytime you've got the twin harp. Pinktail, however, is not
Oh.
random. It'll give you a free item and armor, but that is not
In the
needed this
seed where they already got and didn't just find them but got a stack for free, completely useless. Oh my god,
so
are they
Rivers
doing?
got the
They're in the same
sand ruby.
spot.
Rivers picked up the sand ruby when he left Tower of Babel. So they're
Oh my
still
God. They're totally synced right now, or like basically synced.
What?
This
Walking back? Who doesn't go grab the Black Jacobo to fly back?
When you've got running, it's almost faster to do this. So I don't know. Again, we don't know how many tracks are available. It's another list that is unpublished for the lulz, but many. I've not heard a duplicate, but I haven't heard it many times. But I've definitely heard some cool things. What was it? I had a Final Fantasy V track the other day. Megalovania is in here somewhere. There's a bunch of stuff. There's a lot of great themes.
So it looks like River is going to do the Luca Cave. I'm curious if he actually will turn on encounters. If he leaves encounters off, you will not get trapdoor fights. Encounters have to be on for that.
If I were him, I would not turn them on because, again, he just wants to get his key item, so he just wants to run for that boss. He does not need the levels, so turning on the doors would be a waste of his time at this point. No, I don't think this is the last key item, but it is, yeah, I think there's definitely some more. But they definitely have a lot of them.
We've seen the rat tail turn in, for starters.
Yeah, because they don't have the hook yet. Did they get, they had the package, right?
They have
yes.
the package,
Yeah,
but
they
they
have
won't
the
give you an
spoon.
item, it'll just be a character.
No, I'm just kind of checking which ones they've gotten. They got Luca Key from Luca, right? Did they get Baron Key?
No,
No, so they
Nobody
don't
was
have
seen
Baron
Baron Key,
Key. Did
which-
they get the Sand Ruby?
they did. Rivers
Okay.
has Sand Ruby, but who's in bed? Dark Knight Sea Souls.
Right, so we're waiting on the hook and the Baron Key, which can lead us to and the hook will lead us to being able to turn in the tails.
Yeah. So I'm wondering if this will
might
be
a reaction seed where you need one to get the next to get the next.
There's Baron
Or maybe
Key,
not,
yeah.
Baron Key.
So Baron,
now
you
they'll
get an
have
item
to-
from Baron Key, so it's going to be the hook and the Baron Key.
It could be. It could still be 17 to 17.
Yeah, that's what I think it has to be, because I don't think if it gives you the crystal, it means you can't turn in the hook items. So it has to be the hook. So, and then, yeah, so I think this is 17 to 17, at least for Rivers. I don't know which order Nirm is doing it in. So see, he's doing Zot, which Rivers has already done.
Yeah.
So, Rivers is pretty solidly in the lead now, but I say solidly. He is pretty unquestionably in the lead, but oh, he's got the Fabul Gauntlet. I hate it. So when the bosses are swapped, the entire Fabul Gauntlet, which is 6 random encounters, is one of the bosses. So welcome to the Fabul Gauntlet. There are 4 battles left to go. So it's a bit of a time waster to find it as a boss.
Yes. But
Not
again,
really hard fights at all.
yeah. 1 damage.
39.
okay.
They're making a comeback.
I was gonna say they've all got admin armor on, and
Yeah.
it's a joke of a fight, and I would call it time wasting, but by the looks of this progression, it's a necessary fight because you need the Baron Key to get the hook, and you need the hook to turn in the rat tail to get the crystal.
Yeah.
This would feel bad if you didn't already know the logic that what we're looking at.
Yes, if you just happened to find this early on and you didn't realize it was necessary, yeah, this would feel awful. So that means Luca Key was also required. But we got Magma Key. Did we start with Magma Key on this seed?
We did.
So we could have gone Magma Key, Luca Key. Was in items, so we could have gone right to the underworld, gotten that, and followed that progression of items. Again, so this seed did not have to be 17 of 17 items. It makes sense why it is. With no encounters on, you definitely wanted to get some bosses in there, but yeah. Oh yeah, Baron. Yeah, so yeah, there's definitely bosses left. So yeah, with the Baron Key, we're heading in to fight those 2 bosses.
We did see Wyvern already. We've
Yep.
not seen Golbez yet, as I recall, but
Nope.
he's probably
No,
not
that
going to be
was last
difficult at this point.
We also haven't seen Plague.
Nope.
I
Well,
mean,
Plague's not annoying. It's just
Plague is annoying, but both of these runners know exactly how to deal with Plague. I don't. Yeah, who gave the rat? Yeah, right, because you needed the rat tail as well. I don't remember who gave the rat tail. I know they got it fairly early on, though.
So exit will not work here. Warp will. You just have to keep on casting it.
Yep.
Have we actually seen elixirs for sale?
no.
No.
Okay, that can change your strategy for the Zoramos just a little bit.
Yeah, they do potentially still have access to the shop on the moon, though. But
I thought
Yeah.
I checked that actually. Thought River checked that.
I thought that was last seed. I don't think they've summoned the. Did they summon the whale yet?
I don't think either of them.
No,
have
I
yet.
don't think they've summoned the whale. Like, I think that was last seed. Again, I will happily stand corrected.
Yeah, maybe Odin will be in Odin's spot.
Yeah, really. Definitely won't see him then. So, unlocking the door and going back and seeing if there's anything cool in here.
Okay,
Which
Land
there
of
might be.
Summons
Oh,
check
okay, in the
does
Land of
work.
Summons shop. Okay. Maybe there were elixirs. Buy the Dreamer? No, how dare you? Okay. Yeah, two things in a row. I have no idea who has what at this point.
Apparently Niram doesn't have warp though and has to walk out of here. Or no, I'm sorry, this is going. I'll be alright.
You sure? He's like, no,
No.
I'm not sure at all.
I'm sure of
Absolutely no.
nothing.
Yeah. Doing 2 seeds in a row can be really confusing. I'm the type, I use trackers, whether it's my first or second or fifth seed, because I'm super forgetful. Not all the runners do, but there are quite a few trackers out there. I know I use a combination of a boss tracker, what was a Final Fantasy 1 tracker, which has been repurposed for key items and characters just to tick off what you have or have not received. Plus, there is an official tracker which is used with drop downs and is customizable depending. Oh, Luke. So, yeah, depending on what seed you're using and what you want to track. So, yeah, they're very, very helpful.
And this is, I'm sure, just going to be a very difficult fight.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Look
so
at that.
tough.
Wait, where'd it go? I blinked.
Yeah. Blinked and you missed it.
Oh, wait. Now the real fight. Oh, wait.
Oh, wait. Done.
That was fun.
What happened? I was taking a drink of water.
Oh. River's got some experience. The game just felt sorry.
Yeah. Like, here you go. I have a present for you.
Alright, who's the Cameo King today is actually the dolls!
Nice.
Oh, what's a twist?
So we'll just use Firebomb?
Well, I mean, why not?
I mean,
Yeah, absolutely. Because the only thing with the dolls is making sure they all die at once, or sorry, one of each of the colors, the last one of each color dies at the same time to prevent combining into the big doll. But if you just kill all of them at the same time, that also works.
Yeah, when all you have is a firebomb, everything looks like a highly combustible target. Or something like that.
And so now Rivers is going to get the, I believe, 16th key item.
Yeah, where you would normally get the Enterprise, of course, so since you already started with it, something else has to go there.
Literally a puppet state. I love it.
I gotta applaud that one.
Yeah,
Well
that
done.
was beautiful. I love all puns, the worse the better, but that one was truly beautiful. A work of art. Okay, let's see what item we got. I'm willing to put money. It's on the hook. It's off the hook. Ba-dum-chink.
Oh,
There you
look
go.
at that, Natara.
Look at that. I got this. Making all the dollars. All the Final Fantasy dollars, otherwise known as Gil. Or GP.
GP, depending on.
Money.
You can also turn in the pigtail for another adamant armor.
Because he's
Let's
only
place
got
bets on
90.
whether he'll
Good.
do that. Yeah, 99 is not enough. Or sorry, 94 is not enough.
Yeah.
He's equipped him. I was gonna say.
Oh,
don't do
he
it, Rivers.
almost did.
He almost said, yeah,
And there you go.
there's Crystal. It's the only thing left. He literally has 17 of 17 items. So chances are he is going to use his apples, bring everyone up to par, and warp to Zeromus to get his murder on. Let us see.
Boss fight will look completely different than what we saw in the last seed.
Legit.
Just like everything else.
Yeah, I do want to note though that Nirm is not far behind at all, especially considering he wiped after 15 minutes in and had to restart. So I will note though as well, Nirm has spent a couple of minutes appling his party already, though he might top it up. So Rivers does have to spend the time doing that. It does take a couple minutes, which is, considering the reward you get for doing it, is seriously trivial. However, you do want to, it does take some time, so it will even things up a little bit, because let me tell you, a couple of minutes in the hands of someone like Nirm is plenty.
Well,
Yeah,
Rivers has got to be thinking Nirm's got to be close to being done himself. So.
And holy yes, Nirm does need the hook, because the way the pathing went is you needed the Baron key to get the hook to get the crystal. The timer color is off from, I don't know, just cuts. Sometimes it's trying to balance it to get the correct color. It can be a bit difficult, a little bit tricky depending on the color of that. The short answer is restreaming is difficult. So our wonderful restreamer, Death Star, is doing a fabulous job making sure to keep up with the different layouts for the going from the 4-way to the 2-way, and then keeping the 2-way and changing up everything. So let's give a big hand to Death Star for that. Thank you, thank you. I know from experience it is a difficult job. Yeah, no, you have to do actual work to change and work on the timer. So, yeah, it doesn't just do that.
Awesome work.
By the way, for seeds where you may have a more difficult sequence here, not an issue today, but you can go visit Cecil's room and rest for free once you're at this point of the game. So, in other seats, that matters. Not today.
Yeah, so we did pick up a bunch of gear, so making sure to put it on everyone now. I didn't want to put adamants on people, or didn't want to waste time equipping people when it just simply wasn't necessary until this part. You just needed the 2 people with 99.
And the adamant armor is the big ticket, but we didn't find a lot of the rest of it, and I think they stopped checking the shops largely at that point, but no ribbons, no protect rings, no crystal rings even.
Yeah, Rivers is realizing he can't equip anyone because his inventory is full, so he's got to start checking items. Yeah, and again, one of the 4 ease and convenience items that was added to this randomizer is double using the trash can. Makes it into a trash can select, so you can just go through and mass delete things. It is one of the best ease of use upgrades that has been given to the randomizer, along with the ability to use the right button in order to ditch items as soon as you get them. So you also don't need to cure up before Zeromus if you have the pass, because you get a free heal just before Zeromus.
But make sure you save.
Yes, always
Yes.
make sure you save, because sometimes you just make the wrong move in Zeromus even though you're ready, and he murders you, and that is sad. Ain't no one got time for that.
So we do have Nirm on his side. He will be picking up the hook momentarily. And he's not that far behind.
And remember, in the last seed, we were seeing runners in the 50s. We saw high end of Edge in the 60s. So comparing that to the levels we're seeing here, mid 30s, mid to low 30s. In entirely different set of flags. And a little inventory reordering is always well called for before you save.
Absolutely.
Inventory management in this game is super huge.
Do that for spells as well when Japanese items aren't on the table. I'll take the time to reorder for Soya. It's like 30-40 seconds of menuing to reorder those spells to save 5 minutes or so over the course of a run.
Okay, so we're gonna go see how this Zeromus fight goes.
Is it
Should
gonna
go
be,
quite well.
Is it going to be Daltimus again?
Yeah, and we also
Mike
get the
Tyson?
different Zeromus this time. Get your guesses in chat. Be quick because it will not take long as to who you hope or think Zeromus is going to be this time. Again, the Z flag does nothing except for change the icon, the sprite of Zeromus. Everything else is the same, but it looks really so cool. So we, without fail, always use the Z flag because it's so much fun.
There's some talk in chat about Rivers pulling up the crystal. Remember, he picked up the crystal shield and not
Yeah.
the actual crystal?
Yep, he had,
That's exactly what he
ordered it
did.
Slightly wrong, but it's not that big of a deal because
No.
it's only one-time use.
So minor. Nirm picking up the adamant, even though I think he picked up a stack of adamant armors. Interesting.
Are you ever going to complain about having too many adamant armors?
No,
'Cause
I
if he
want to
ever
sell them
finishes
for my
the
fortune.
Gee, if only it had less adamant armors.
Yeah, right? Okay, let's see who it is. Wells, you. Oh my god, yes,
Oh.
it sends! Yes! Also, Wells always wants Nataramus, and as far as I know, still not in there. So, getting those Star Veils on, definitely helpful. Because using these items, I believe, count as magic. So, there's going to be a lot of nukes flying around, so this will definitely help in lieu of some curing.
Yeah, you will be countering these firebombs with nuke. And you want to keep health full if possible, because it does its damage based on current HP.
Yeah.
But with elixirs, you can quickly get back to full HP.
Yeah, exactly. So again, but any bit of time spent elixiring is time not tossing firebombs.
So I think Niram has forgotten to turn in the rat tail while Rivers is in the fight.
Did he actually get the rat tail is the question.
Oh, maybe he didn't.
I am curious by a decision that River made, which was to Berserk Edge. Because the turns will be faster, but the melee damage just won't keep up. At least I don't think so, but River
The
does
thing is,
what
it's
I do.
free damage. It is an attack which won't have a nuke.
And it's one less menu he has to worry.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a very good point.
Yeah.
I mean, if it was glitched and he had a bunch of stuff to throw, probably a different situation. But Firebomb's doing 5k a shot, so
Yeah, and
the
yes,
nukes are
this.
reflecting.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and that'll help with the damage a lot. So yes, this character is Sans. He is from Undertale. For those unfamiliar, definitely check it out.
Niram did go back. I think he realized he did have the rat tail. He just
He just didn't turn it in.
Oh my.
He hadn't realized. Yeah, so that's definitely a bit of a delay there. But that's okay. He is literally not far behind Rivers at all. If he hasn't finished appling, he's likely going to do that and then head off to Sansumus.
So, such a difference here.
Oh, he did have to get it, okay,
Taking
because
time
Edward
to
gives it
heal.
to.
And getting the nukes for extra damage.
This is a brilliant strategy of having all those walls up to bounce back the nukes. If there's one thing that Rivers is good at, it's strategy. Oh, he's got 3 of them berserked. Because again, you're not being counterattacked that way. And you can get the higher damage with the characters who are not berserked. and you got those nukes bouncing back. So it's a really good balance. So you're not getting attacked with too many, because eventually he will use Black Hole, which will neutralize the berserks and the walls.
But then you're just right back to using the items.
Well, exactly. You're just going to redo what you did. But yeah, this definitely makes it nice and quick.
I sure hope Nerum's safe before coming here.
Oh, he's fine.
I'm sure he is.
With the items they have, it's I don't want to say it's 100% a no-lose situation, but it is
It's a 99 point.
It's a pretty close to no-lose situation.
Very true. Although if you didn't
Especially
top
for
up
these
that,
two
it's
runners, I mean,
okay.
more specifically.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nerum did not max out the HP, so Fire Bombs won't be as effective.
Yeah, absolutely. But again, he's got the Bacchus too, so he is likely going to berserk his characters as well. Plus, if he has edge tossing things, that will help.
That's right, Corporal Spider, 99.9999% no lose.
Okay, so that is the last hit there for Rivers. He has finished with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 4 minutes, and 22 seconds. It does look like he is going to pop in here with us for an interview. It looks like he just got here as well. Hello, welcome.
Hello.
GG on both of your runs.
Thank you.
So how did you feel about both of those seeds?
I hated the second seed with all my being.
Yeah, that was, yeah. As soon as we saw the way the routing, I was like, no, looks like he just got here as well. Hello, welcome.
It was very not
GG
happy
on
at all.
both of your
We're
runs.
hearing you through your stream.
Ooh.
So we're gonna get double Natara, more Natara than you guys ever wanted.
I'm not sure I can keep up with that.
No, I don't think I can keep
Yeah,
up with
that
that.
was-
Goodness.
So yeah, the nice full clear seed, huh?
Yeah. That was pretty brutal. The first seed was actually not bad if you played it aggressively, but I didn't.
Yeah,
And
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, Nearm and Penguinator definitely both played that one very aggressively, so finished very close.
Yeah, I'm sure that's a great risk. Can't wait to catch that back on the VOD.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely recommend that. It was a good, and you and Raptor were both really close as well in the first seed.
After I saw that I was going to not win, I just decided I would take us on a scenic tour.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, whatever. That's the perfect way to do it. An interesting thing happened in the second seed. As much as you hated it, Nearm about 10-15 minutes in went to Antlion Cave, and where he found Wyvern and was quickly murdered in the second seed. So, and he had not saved, so he had to redo the first 15 minutes.
Well, that explains why he's so far behind.
He's not that far
Yeah.
behind, but yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. Yeah, he definitely lost a bunch of time doing that. He
I think
definitely
I-
caught up faster than most of the rest of us would have caught up, certainly. But
I think I buffered that and barely got it off.
yeah,
Yeah.
you seemed like you did a good job there.
You opened one treasure chest.
out of 401.
That's beautiful.
And that was the rat tail chest too.
Yeah, and that's exactly how you should do it in a seed like this. We had fun comparing the two different seeds because you really could not get much opposite than the two seeds which were displayed here.
Yeah, hopefully we can work a little bit on this balanced logic to make it a little bit less important that you go raid the tough chests. But yeah.
Absolutely, and as we were also mentioning as we're going, this is still a work in progress. So yeah, we definitely there's lots of work going on in the background, lots of feedback being taken in order to make the game fun for everybody. So it's a
Hey,
great
look, you
job.
can see where everything I already showed you on stream was.
Yeah,
Well, in case
Exactly.
it's not.
yeah. In case you didn't remember about those things, but yeah, no, these flags were the type where it's easy enough that you can just do the quick world tour and grab everything required. Well, it looks like Nearm just has cure 3s.
Yeah, I didn't have elixirs either, so if they were there, they were probably on the moon.
Yeah, for some reason we thought you'd had them. Oh, but he is in Meteo phase, so he's probably okay.
Good.
Chat, you lied to us.
Chat, how dare you? We were counting on you, Chat.
Oh, chat.
Yeah. Hey, Chat is here to save us. I have faith in Chat. So,
But if you saw this and thought some of it looked fun, please join us with the Discord. Visit the website, you'll find a link to it. And there's so much ability to customize your flags. If you like this game at all, you will find something you enjoy. And we saw 2 of the extremes tonight, and both of them completed in very reasonable times.
I was going to say, Nirm has officially finished with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 8 minutes, and 32 seconds. So, fabulous job by both of the racers. Again, Rivers had to get 17 of 17 items, and Nirm had to redo the first 15 minutes. So, for an easy seed, not the easiest time.
But still, the fact you can do this in an hour and 4 minutes really shows you just how easy we can make this, and then also the last seed showed us a little bit more difficulty.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can be a complete beginner, and between the newbies guide, which Rivers here wrote, and the community and the different flags, it is completely approachable by anyone. So definitely highly recommended. And again, we've linked the web page a few times in the chat, and the Discord can be found on that web page. So please come join us, come play games with us. We all love Randomizer. That's why we're here.
We're a very welcoming community, and especially the newbies. So, just if you ever have questions, we're always happy to answer them in the Discord as well.
Absolutely. So any finishing final words from you, Rivers, or any of the other commentators?
I don't know, other commentators, what do you think?
Well, I'll just say it's great to see. I've had one eye on the Discord, and we've had a couple of new people tonight, which is fantastic to see. I hope everyone's enjoyed the show, and hope you'll come try it out, because there's a lot of fun.
Absolutely. As per usual, Final Fantasy IV has won the day. And
Yeah. The true
definitely-
winner is always Final Fantasy IV.
Yes. Well, it's either Final Fantasy IV or the Wrath, but yeah.
Yeah, one of those. Excellent. Well, thanks everyone for coming out. I think I will turn this back over to our lovely restreamer. Please give everyone a follow. Lots of hard work goes on behind the scenes in these sort of races and in the communities. So every little bit helps. So again, Death Star 175 was our restreamer, and that's hard work. So GG, and thank you so much to everyone.
Ladies and gentlemen, due to an issue
Yes, thank you.
with their